on the next flight to Van Venezuela. What a brilliant leader. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. They could come with propaganda, all the lies and the slander, try to mislead my people with their hate and evil. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. That's it. Jalala, everybody, put up on the red, wear me over your head. All of them forget the curry people. Labour stepping, they want to cause struggle. For the Kalinagos have no respect, exploiting them on the water project. Supreme Scotland used to work to Labour to build their seawall. Zero, they would have to back it. Water tank on Labour fix it. Whether you teacher, leader, elder, must give credit to Labour. You better believe it. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Look out for we 5-star hotel, highway to Posse as well, seaport reconstruction, rosary modification. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Dance up. Jala, no question, jala, no question, jala. Just something red, wave them over your head. Some will never see the importance to give up for people assistance. So they have a problem with the clinic. Make sure stay, they want to block it. Imagine they get in office, what would be their wicked practice? It's for people who put you there. At all time you got to show you care. The party in a working mood, don't interrupt that mood. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The government helping squatters to get their land and quarters, helping people, some of you have an issue. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. You better know Jala, no question, Jala, no question, Jala. Everybody, raise up something red, wave that over your head. Indeed, it is first time in our history people get medical for free. 18 and under and over 65. You shall never be deprived. Big focus on human resource, people well-being's compass, universal education, scholarship and transportation. What a selfless party, putting first our country. Yeah. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Oh, but what a brilliant stadium. The bridge and road all around, improvement on all road networks. Airport beauty is no joke. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Everybody! Dancer, Jala, no question, Jala, no question, Put up something head, rip it over your head. Hey, hey, everybody, la-la-la, no resting, la-la-la, la-la, no resting, la-la-la. Hey, la-la-la, not white, not red, not yellow, not blue. Hey, let me see you shoot, let me see you shoot. Show me how well you do. La-la, no resting, la-la-la. Raise up the red, wave it over your head. All aboard! Where my people at? Are you ready? Ready, ready, ready. Here we go. Wait for me. Get them. Captain's carriage ring the bell and we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Captain ordained by God and we ready. Ready to vote back the LP. A driver everybody could trust. A driver religious men endorse. So make sure your vote is counted. Labour Party is bound to succeed. Hey. Everybody branching on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. A train for progress, fairness and success. The train is passing through. Love and humility in every community. The train is passing through. Everybody branching on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing. Don't leave me down, I want to be there. Plenty red in the atmosphere. You ready, put your hands in the air. Ready, ready, ready. Ready to do it again. In the sun or under the rain. Everyone on the Labour train. Ready and ready and ready and ready. Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Shout it out if you on the train. Whoa. Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Everyone on the Labour train, yeah. Great leadership is everything. So we're ready to vote Scarrow and the party. We don't want that bogus driver to get in. So we're ready to vote Scarrow and the party. To eradicate poverty. We take education seriously. We're taking care of the poor and the needy. Cause they are part of the family. Hey. Everybody branching on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cottage and Postman branching. Bush and Fakers bash it. The train is passing through. Wesley and Marigot Fuawi, also the Carib territory. The train is passing through. Everybody branching on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing. Everybody ready? We ready. Don't move. Keep on turning, Lord. Get up. Coming through. Make way. Ready. Ready. Lay back at over and therefore we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Roseau Central, Roseau North and South ready. Ready to vote back the LP. coming to transform Posse and Rose. And we want the whole world to know, coming from the struggle that we undergo. No Pacalaje PM's Carol, no. Everybody points on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Can push into Scott said on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Cassibus and La Plaine. Grand for on board, no complaint. The train is passing through. We did Saban and Grand Bay. La Puerta and Scott said okay. The train is passing through. Everybody wants shake on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Can push into Scott said on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Sing.
Everybody wants shake on the labor train.
You hear the chorus? Sing the anthem. Roseau Valley, Roseau Central, Roseau South, Roseau North. Sing the anthem. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Yeah, my people. I wanna hear you sing. Yes, the labor train. Young and old, sing the anthem. Sing the chorus. Labor train. Sing. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Sunday night, we're passing through from village to village. Push. Come on, Nika. Okay. Wait for me, Hunter. Wait for me. You know what to do when you get to the pool. We vote in labor. Labor. Everybody say labor. Sing the anthem. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Ready. I wanna hear your voices. Everybody sing. I'm ready. You're looking good. Down there. Down there. Everybody wants shake on the labor train. Yes, the labor train.
The election is on. Some man want to run the country, but they have no capability. So mind if you red, green or black, once you have Dominica at heart. Right now the country making progress, which mean our leader is very blessed, who behaving like they power possess. I believe they want to feather their nest, but let me want them keep the fire burning. Council Lennox Linton to be the leader of our nation. The progress that's on will all stop, and before it aid, they will fall short. In this hard economic time, we have no oil, copper, or gold mines. We need a leader to lead from the front, with the ability, skills to achieve the things we want. So let me tell you, keep the fire burning, keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP, vote the Labour Party all the way. Let me sing the chorus, keep the fire burning, burn, keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP, vote the Labour Party all the way. Paul Joe, spread the news around, man. The owners of the Dominicans, we must make the correct decision. All the eloquent speakers on cue, don't allow the champ to distract you. If you take a drive around the country, open up your eyes, you'll agree with me. All the progress taking place frequently is all because of Skelbit and DLP. So let me sing now. Keep the fire burning, keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP, vote the Labour Party all the way. Let me sing now. Keep the fire burning, burning, keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP, vote the Labour Party all the way. Get it?
Yeah, baby, I'm staying with labor. I'm so confused by the opposition. The UWP is pure confusion. Their leader buys votes at each convention, and their bubble list, in case you have missed, is too much to mention. So I'm voting late.
Yes, I'm voting Labour on my ballot paper. Want to say a special good evening to you wherever you are joining us across Dominica, to the north, south, east, and west coast of the beautiful nature island. It is, yes, indeed, another Tuesday evening in the Commonwealth of Dominica. So I want to say a special welcome to you, our listeners, who are, of course, joining us in St. Lucia, St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Island. I want to say a special welcome to each and every one of you as we, of course, begin our program here tonight. Want to, of course, say a good evening to St. Lucia, St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Island. All the folks who are joining us in the United States and Canada, want to say a special good evening and welcome to you. It's already 27 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. It is also the 27th day of January. Yes, it is the 27th day. So these days are moving by so quickly. Of course, I want to say good evening there to our political leader, Dr. Skerritt family, to all of the cabinet ministers and senators. Want to also say a special good evening there to Mr. Monroe up there in Bellevue and all the Pidit Savant folks, South City, Grand Bay. Good evening to you. The Fonseca Bagatelle store. Want to shout out, of course, all the folks in Sophia's Quartet, Gallia, Point Michel, Castle Comfort, Wallace. Want to say good evening there, 200 bits up there. Hope you are doing good. All the folks in Kings Hill, Mommy, good evening to you. Ria and all the folks in Egliston, Roseau Central. Want to say good evening there to all the folks in the Valley. Not forgetting, of course, the folks in the Mao constituency, Ken Phil, Massac, Mao. Want to say good evening there to Warren and Despo. Want to shout out, of course, Tessa and the folks over there in Kenfield. Rufan, how you doing this evening there? Want to say good evening there to my brother Vian, always tuned in there to the next level. DJ Bones, my brother, and Deli, good evening to you all. All the folks who are joining us in Collio, Forceja, Collio, Dubla, Biosh. Want to say good evening there to St. Joe, Mero. Good evening there to Salisbury, Colibistry, Zetma over there in Collio. Good evening to you. Not forgetting, of course, the folks in Portsmouth, in the north of the island. A special big up there to all the Posse Massive. Hope everybody is keeping safe. And not forgetting the Cottage constituency. Good evening to every one of you. The Vickers constituency, Penville, Vickers, and Thibault. A special good evening there. What about Paybush constituency? A special good evening to you. Not forgetting, of course, the good folks in Calibishi, Benz, Ansdime, Wesley, Woodfordale. Big up there. Yeah, man. I tell you, that part of the island, there are big things happening there. A lot of attention on this side of the island. I want to say a special big up there to you, of course, in Marigot, and not forgetting the folks in the Kalinago territory. A special big up there to you. Cassie Bruce Massive, good up San Sauvé. How you doing there? Of course, not forgetting all the folks in Grand Fond, Monjon, and Riviere Civic. Yeah, man, big up there. To Laplin, Boudica, and Dailies. Want to shout out Desi and family, and of course, Mr. Evelyn, our man, big up there. Mike Kitchen, what's up, my brother? Of course, it's good to see that the folks are getting confirmed. Yeah, man, big up there to all the folks in Dailies. Mr. Baron, good evening to you. Good evening, our and family. And all the folks who are joining us, wherever you are traveling, of course, on the road. I want to say good evening to the folks in Sultan, Yeman, and Sylvina, always tuned in. Hostel, Genbook, Sakafet, Gasso, bonsoir, bonsoir, monsieur. Hope you are keeping safe as well. Yeman, let me say, of course, to all of you who meet me and say, Simeon, we are always listening. Thank you for listening. Want to say welcome to all the folks who are joining us on the Facebook page. A special big up to you. We are live on Kyrie FM Facebook page, The Next Level. We are also live on YouTube as well, so you can always get The Next Level on YouTube or also on Facebook. We are live on both of these mediums, where we are bringing, of course, this program to you, the many listeners, of course, wherever you are across the world. Those days there with social media, we can literally cover all the grounds. But tonight, this evening, there I have in studio with me my comrade Clarence. Comrade Clarence will be joining us a little later in the program. So good evening to you, Clarence. And how are you doing, my brother?
Good evening, Simeon. Good evening to everybody listening to us. Good evening. Let me say good evening to my home village, Pichelin. I've been in the news recently. I mean, I've been in the news. All of a sudden, Pichelin got remembered, but people of Pichelin are safe, well safe, and okay. And then, yep. So let me say good evening to you all here, to my aunt. Let me say hello to Denise, James, and Evans, and the rest of the folks up there in Pichelin. Good evening to all of you listening to us, always listening, and so on. Those people in Savant Margot, in Belgium, good evening. Let me say good evening to Manuela Laville, always listening to us in Pichelin. So yes, let me just assure Pichelin that Pichelin is safe. There is no imminent threat in Pichelin, nothing at all. No imminent threat in Pichelin, and things are under control. Simeon. So let me touch the people of Bagatelle, Fort Saint Jean, Point Michel, Ayel. Good evening to you, and Ma Ayel. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me say good evening to Mr. Wallace down there in Clifton, and your wife. Let me say good evening to Wapi in Biosh and your wife. Zetma, good evening to you. In Koliho, Peter. Mr. Peter, good evening to you. I did not come down Saturday because I was very busy, and the guys by the bar down there. So good evening on the bayfront. Good evening to you. And the lady also, good evening to everybody. Always listening to us. Coliho, Dublin, and Bioche, always listening. And yeah, everybody, all listeners. Monjuri and his brothers up there on Hillsborough Street, and so on. And there's a lady who met me earlier, it was yesterday, at Save a Lot. And he tell me from City Breeze, and always she heard my voice and say, he walk up to me and tell me good night. I can't remember the name though, but always listening to us. Let me say, if you're listening, good evening to you, and people of those in City Breeze up there and in Baffin State. Good evening to the people of Baffin State, and all the constituencies. My pal rep Julian Defoe, special good evening to you. I mean, good evening to you, and good evening to the people of Fonseja Bagatelle and Bellevue Chopin. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, hi, Clarence, and of course, welcome again. It's a pleasure to have you here in studio with me tonight as we, of course, continue our discussion here tonight. Tonight, we will touch slightly on the issue of the landslide in Pishley there. Also, there was a statement made by Rodney in relation to the $1 an acre of land. We will touch on that, and also Fontaine and the Dask and what makes Thompson unfit to hold public office. We will, of course, touch on that. But before we get into these discussions, we want to open up the lines and allow our listeners take one or two calls before we get into our discussion here. 4487-337. 4487-338. You can also call us on the WhatsApp line, which is also a very good medium to get in touch with us here live on the program. 245-2929. 245-2929, our WhatsApp line that can get you also live on air as we commence our program for this Tuesday evening in the month, yes, of January. So January is quickly creeping by. So if you had plenty of things to do in the month of January and you did not get it done, then Mwalaka ale kite nou tout à l'heure. This weekend is coming, is another end of the month. And then by next week, we'll be heading into February. And as you know, we are in the carnival season there. And yes, we are in the carnival season. So things are how they would say, hotting up. Yeah, man. Let me give you a little bit of our partner Caressa there. My partner Caressa tune. Mm-hmm.
The pen, came back with a rooster from America. As the bully reached, he began to preach. Any cup with crow, he covering them. He tackling dog, he tackling cat, he tackling anything. Even some jackass surrender to him. Now the Venezuelan cop suddenly get caught. He chicken coop mad, look, paper in the yard. And they're singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You're striking so hard, no pity for she backyard, Lord. Tell the end from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoot, shoot. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoot, shoot. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. This ever in the yard. Oh, Milado. Lade, lade, lade. Deba, deba. The Bajan hen started to bawl. Oh, she just stand this rooster at all. Because of his bite, he think he right. And taking advantage is his delight. The rooster insists anyone resist, he go be catastrophic. And the penalty, just get rid of him. All them little cock-a-doodle can't even say shoo. singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You're striking so hard, no pity for she backyard. Lord, tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoo, shoo. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoo, shoo. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. This never in the yard. Oh, me lord, oh. The Russian cock checking the scene, waiting for a chance to intervene. While the Chinese cock sitting on the fence, spreading the wings, just seeking influence. North Korea cock is a bigger threat, they're tackling us yet. Little do you know, he is the rooster's pet. This hypocrisy for me, I cannot condone. So they should leave the Venezuelan cock alone. And we singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You strike it so hard, no pity for she backyard. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoo, shoo. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoo, shoo. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. This never in the yard. Oh, me lord, oh. Oh, mama, deba, deba.
Yes, I.
Chuck Doss, Almighty Sparrow had to grade that song for masking, for mask. They would, that man would have gotten king right away.
All right.
Because that's what calypso is, masking. You can never say he's singing about something, but if you do not know, you can never know what he's singing about.
All right. Well,
That
the
is
rooster,
real masking.
the rooster
That's
and
what
the
is
hen.
That's what calypso
Yes,
is
sir.
about. The
Yeah, man.
mask.
Well, Clarence know about that better than me. You know, I know the judge of Calypso, but I like the tune. Yeah, man. The rooster and the hen, man. Yeah, man. Figure it out, people. Big tune by our boy Caressa. They're coming down for this year's Calypso final, and yeah, man. Let's see who's on the telephone there with us there. On the telephone there, caller. Good evening to you. Yes.
Still coming back. And I think we need to go to you, Mr. Christian. And now is the little boy.
Everybody's all right, mommy. Good night to you. Everybody is all right.
All right, this is my love. I take care of them, everyone. Have a wonderful family. And God bless you all. And my son.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, mommy. I'm good.
And how is my nice lady over there and her son?
They're doing good, ma'am. Everybody is fine today. God bless.
Oh, wonderful. And your daughter?
Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing all right.
God bless each and every one of you, and always cover yourself with the blood of Christ Jesus,
Indeed.
because his blood is life,
Mm-hmm.
and gave it for everyone in this whole world.
That's right.
So claim it upon you and your family, your entire family.
All
and
the time.
Country, don't forget.
Amen.
And I say good evening to my Dr. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. God bless you, my son. Lay his healing hands upon you and give you the wisdom, the continual wisdom in you. He has chosen you as a young man to develop his country, and you are doing a fantastic job. And I'm praying for your wife, your children, your parents, your in-laws. And I'm praying for all ministers and senators of the government, laborites here and abroad, those who love me, those who hate me, may God bless all of you. Who hate me, I will still pray, and I will measure of coals on your head. because God is in control. He's everything in this country. He gave us his son. The great I am gave us his son, Emmanuel, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, who suffered on that old rugged cross to Calvary. He fell 3 times and gave us his life, which is his blood and his body. So let us continue to pray always and give thanks to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I ask you, Holy Spirit, please, Holy Spirit, fall afresh on my Prime Minister. He has a lot of enemies behind him, but God has created him and gave him to take care of this country. He gave him the leader of this country. Holy Spirit, cover him in the fire of your divine love, that no weapon that form against him will never prosper. And I call in on the Lamb of God to cover him with that precious blood that he gave to the whole world. Cover his wife and children. Cover the entire planet of Dominica. Look down upon us, Holy Spirit, Spirit of the living God. Fall afresh on us. No matter how the enemy is calling for disaster and for problems, but I know God is in control. And I plead that precious blood again on my Prime Minister. And I call in on Michael the Archangel. Holy Michael is a powerful angel who drove the devil and his bad angel from heaven to hell. And I call in on Michael the Archangel to defend the Prime Minister, defend his family and his entire cabinet, and defend us in the day of battle, and all my family, my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, defend us, and all the hosts of the Labour Party, IRFM, PBS, defend us in the day of battle. Be our protection and guard against the ways and the wickedness of those devils. May God rebuke them, I humbly pray.
Amen.
And to down the prince of the heavenly host by the power of God. Drag down into hell Satan and all his wicked evil spirits who prowl in foolish land, seeking the ruin of souls. Read Daniel, and you will find how powerful is Michael the Archangel.
Thank you, Mommy.
And I pray that he defend us and he protect us.
Amen.
And protect my Prime Minister, guide and protect and direct his every path.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Amen, Mommy. Amen.
So have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Talk to you later, Mommy. Thank you again. Thank you, as always. You know, our prayer warriors that are out there, and, you know, Mommy always leading the charge. Yeah, man. Big up to Mommy. They're 80 years counting, still solid as a rock. You know, big respect there. All right, there. Welcome again, listeners. It's already moving to the off 9 o'clock. We got quite a bit there to offload there tonight. Let's just take this other call there and we'll get right into our discussion. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good night, Simeon. Good night, Clarence, and the cock in the yard.
Yes, I. The rooster got so. Don't spoil the bad song. The rooster. Yes, I. All right, there. 8:47. Again, a special welcome to each and every one of you as we come into our program here tonight. We were, of course, having an interesting discussion on why Thompson Fontaine is unfit to hold office in Dominica. But we will continue that discussion tonight. But just briefly, you know, Clarence wanted to say a couple of things on the landslide in Pichelin that just took place. You know, and but why these people that come in on our lives so disrespectful, Nogasa? You know, we go block you all, we go ban you all from our life. Once all you can come there and discipline all yourself, properly, we go put the button on all you. All right. I mean, all you can't come here and disrespect people. Yes, Clarence. So Clarence, what I saw in the Pichland area, there was a natural, what I would consider act of God. Something that really is not new to Dominica, because over the years we have had quite a few landslides, and we see what happening when our rivers come down heavy, and that's why sometimes we actually, whenever there is heavy rain, we ask people who are living in areas that are prone to flooding, the disaster, people always put out this announcement for people to really move from where they are to higher grounds and stuff, safer areas. But no one got injured in that incident there over there in Pichland, and I'm happy for that. But I listened to several commentary coming from the UWP side, and it's like, really, frequent of what they were saying and really the rest of it was just not making sense to me anyway. So not that I'm going to repeat anything that they say tonight, except to say that it would appear to me that they believe that whenever these things happen, it's like they're quick to take social media in a way to preach. Some of what they were saying though is like, oh, Dominica is a nature island, and we're promoting Dominica as nature island, and we're destroying it. I mean, why again? And I am saying, why is it that every time someone who believes that they're advocating on behalf of the WP must make a negative statement about Dominica? I mean, if there is a landslide, there's a landslide. How does a landslide that happen destroy the idea that we are promoting Dominica as the nature island?
Simeon.
I mean, how does it?
I do not know. I really, and to me, I'm amazed of what transpired. I was home Sunday morning. I got up, I lied down on my bed, looking at, I was doing some work on the computer, looking basically. When Lloyd called me from St. Martin and tell me, Clarence, what happening at Pichland? Look, I hear Pichland finish and things so. So I go on Facebook. So when I went on Facebook, I see the landslide. I didn't say anything. I did not even bathe. I just put clothes on me because I know I have my aunt in Pichland and my nephew and other persons in Pichland. I just put clothes on me, not even breakfast, nothing. And the only thing I keep is my wallet in my pocket, and ran up to Pichland, drive up, speed up to Pichland. So I reach Pichland, I come down this thing, I see Pichland quiet. When I reach Pichland, I see guy, because when I heard it was Pichland finish, because when the guy was saying Pichland finish, I thought the landslide was across over my aunt and Audrey and things in that vicinity of because it had been raining a lot in Pichland for 3 days.
Well, not just Pichland, but raining a lot all over Dominica.
So I really thought it was in the area over my aunt's house, Moses Bastian and them house, Audrey, this area, this thing up there, it was there. Because once you say Pichland finish and over a landslide, that is what I thought of. So I came up, I see Pichland cool. So I see people by Audrey, they're drinking. I came, I had a drink. I went to see my aunt and I spoke with her. I tell her what happened. She told me, well, they are, she told me Papayam. So I drove my car right up to Papayam by Vogo House, where Vogo House used to be, and I walked to the landslide. Simeon, this is a normal occasion that happened. From since I was a little boy going up the Pichland, the entire area from Charles Gregoire coming down always have a landslide. So once it rains heavily, some of them big landslides, some of them little landslides, Morancy, vehicles always have problem when you have a landslide on the road to climb the hill. You'll skid in. We always had that. The last landslide, I can remember, major landslide on the road was just above Papayam, where Vogo and Helena Lavinier had his house. And the landslide mashed just above the dam in Pichland. The house was completely destroyed. That Vogo and Helena Lavinier house in Pichland. Because the mountain is very close to the road and things so. So what the project is doing, Simeon, because what you have precipice below the river and into the river, and then you have the mountain on the other side. Below the river, it's undermining. If if all no, they remove it. But since after Hurricane Maria, you had cans and stones on the road going right up to the corner in Razad. So the road became a one lane. So if a vehicle coming up, you have to stop, go in the bush and let the vehicle pass, or reverse to let the vehicle pass. That is since after Maria. So what the government is doing now, what the project is doing, is taking the road, cutting the mountains, and push the road further east, away from the precipice. But there's a river below, a river running below. So if you cut in the mountain, obviously you lose stones and things so. But the guys have their articulated trucks, the contractor, and they full in the trucks and they take in the road down, the waste material right down Platin, down there, by around there, below the Pishneh school and things so.
Yeah.
They flatten that and and it's a lot of material to carry. So we always have landslides there. So you cut the mountain, the shelving the mountain, a landslide occur.
Yeah.
And the slide went down in the river, down below.
Yeah.
That is what happened. The river is blocked.
Yeah.
So I don't see Pishneh finish.
Yeah.
The engineers go up there, assess the situation, and said there is no imminent threat to Pishneh. Our engineers, our local engineers and disaster people said there is no imminent threat to Pishneh. It is not a minister who said so, you know. I think so. The engineers, the trained professionals, our trained professionals, some of them very young persons, put in their knowledge to work in Dominica. So they said there is no imminent threat. They will monitor the place, and then as soon as the rain over, they will clear the. Today I went up there. The road is cleared. See me on the main road, the road where the landslide, where everything is cleared.
Right, right.
So they're working on the landslide to reduce the pressure. One thing I was scared for was the new bridge they put across Pishley in the thing. So there's a center column. And this, if the thing comes down and the column is still there, it may create some havoc. So once you remove the thing and the bridge is cleared, and they have started doing that. They have removed the concrete, they're removing the steel. So if the river bursts, all it will do is pass under the bridge and go and do its business.
Right.
The only thing that is, I do not know how they're doing it. When I went down by Tokyo Bridge,
Yeah.
I see they working there. The water is running, the river is running, but very thing, because it's never a big river.
So you just create a dam
You just
from
create a dam
from where
from
it
on
thing,
top there.
yeah. So
but the
by
guys will
overflowing.
control it.
It
And
overflows.
again, it would be served as a purpose to allow them to work on Tokyo Bridge.
Yeah.
The way it is, it will allow them to work on Tokyo.
But whatever.
But there is no threat, no imminent threat of Pishley.
Yeah.
No.
I heard that being said by the officials who visit the site. They also ask people to refrain from going there.
Yeah, refrain from.
Yeah. I mean the public from visiting there for whatever. You never know what can happen. But Clarence, the point is, these things do happen.
These things do happen.
When you have a terrain like what we have in Dominica with hills and valleys, you know, I mean, sometimes that's what happened to us, for example, in Petit Savan. You know, so when Erica struck Petit Savan constituency, the entire village suffered severe landslide and loss of lives during that time. I mean, you know, so we under heavy rain, there is a possibility these things will happen. I mean, what happened there is nowhere close to what happened with Petit Savan because we lost no lives. There is no imminent threat to any livelihood there at the moment that can be identified, which is good news. But in the case of Petit Savan, it's not like the government caused these things to happen, you know. You know, these things happen because nature have a way of happening. It's like when you look at what's happening in the United States now, you're hearing they're putting warning because millions of lives are under threat because of the weather. You know, the kind of cool weather they have now is ice and everything that form in there now. And millions of people without electricity and people are, you know, so people will even die because you lose their life because of maybe they don't have enough heat to keep them warm. And, you know, so natural disaster is something that happens. When it happens, of course, the government has a disaster preparedness and, you know, the Met Office and all who professionals within the ministry and those who will advise, technical people will advise on how to deal with those situations. But all that doesn't matter for me. What concerns me is the publicity that the UWP and its acolytes believe they must give to Dominica in a negative way. You know, they don't talk about these things. I swear to God, them fellas that talk on behalf of Europe never cut a tree in their life. They never build a house. They never dig a foundation. You know, like Afi Martin, when he was building his place, he make sure all the trees stay. So maybe he build on top of the trees and left the trees on the ground. I don't know. It's like they're talking like Dominica have to develop, but you have to develop Dominica without taking down anything whatsoever. I mean, come on. You know, you're going to have to, at some given time, you're going to develop an area, excavate for road to pass, put in infrastructure, you know, and this is how it happened. And gradually, as the country continue to develop, you're going to see the expansion taking place, because there was a time when a lot of areas in Dominica didn't have housing. Today, you know, as the housing stock continue to expand, you see more land is needed for development and so on. But this issue about Dominica have to develop and the sellers are there crying down every little thing that happened, whether it's a natural disaster, whether it is the current site that is being allocated for the purpose of the international airport. You know, to make this thing sound like as if Dominica is facing a catastrophic disaster, and it's like we are promoting Dominica in as a nature island, as a tourism site, as a whale sanctuary, and then look at what we are doing to the mountain. Look at, nobody is doing anything to this island. The island, I mean, Dominica full of land base here. Not even in our lifetime we will get to touch the kind of land and thing that are there. So I just feel like as if, for me personally, I just want to condemn those people that come with all these negative things on social media. I heard Dilden Gaben and others trying to give their take on what's happening with Dominica. While they'll go in America and tell us what's happening in America, where he have been. You know, all those things that going on up there. America have so much things going on in it right now. He should go up there and talk to those things. Don't come in our beautiful little Dominica we love so much, where we building it up, you know, for the future generation. And to come here and try to criticize every single thing, and at the end of the day, even when there are natural acts of God that no man have control over, to try to take it and make it look like it is the government fault or it is our fault. Monsieur malédiction, last coup malédiction en le pays, you know. So
let me say something.
Yeah, Carlos.
Matt and Dale Dangleman. Matt is they went up there.
Yeah.
They passed in Loubier.
Yeah.
They saw a brand new bridge, 2-lane bridge, taking them to replace the single-lane bridge that was there for years. A 2-lane bridge being built there. They go up Kubuli factory, what you call Corny. They saw another 2-lane bridge being built there. They drove down the back road, well paved and things so. They said nothing about that. What they went to is the type of road they spreading about the country. A natural landslide came down, they're working on the road. It's a construction site. Things will happen on the construction site. From Bellevue to the PHL Secondary School, from the PHL Secondary School is a construction site. It rained, they're cutting down the mountain, and they're doing, bro, I drove down to Granby this afternoon.
So what you're saying, Clarence, is they drove all there.
Yeah.
They saw all these
things happening.
But they didn't talk about it.
They didn't make a video about it to show, hey boy, but this bridge is being built, and a 2-lane bridge replacing, and there's another bridge by it. They went to Kubuli, a 2-lane bridge, major bridge is being built up here. Men working, a lot of men working.
But they didn't comment on that.
They don't comment on that.
Right.
They went up to Bellevue Chopin. They see the Bellevue Chopin school, big school going up in Bellevue Chopin.
Yeah. And no comment on that.
No comment on that.
Because
they drove the back road. No comment on
because
that.
Clarence,
well paved.
Because Clarence, they are not about, and that is why we are here on a Tuesday night and on a Saturday night. Because these guys are not about promoting the positive that is happening in Dominica. They will pass all the positive, but seek to look for anything that the resemblance that will try to destroy Dominica's image. Because that's what they were attempting to do with all of this foolish discussion they were having. You know, it's all about trying to destroy the image of this country,
But Simeon,
to try to destroy the tourism product that we have. And that's where they go. So they will never highlight the positive things that you have identified. And that is why I will tell you, the other people continue to stay where they are. Yes,
Simeon,
Karen,
but not only that, I have 2 children, very young. The oldest one is about 40 years now. An engineer. He went to university he went to school in Massachusetts. He'd have done a lot of work as a geologist, a geological engineer, a geoscience engineer. He worked on the geothermal project. He's all over the Caribbean working. This is an engineer. We have a lot of young guys who have the government have trained and are engineers, trained, bright. You see them on the international airport, you see them on the project and things so. When you go criticizing people, you don't criticize our local Dominicans who are doing their work. We have to allow our local engineers to doing their work. When you get somebody who have not left, who did not complete primary school, to take on an engineer who is doing his work and serving his country. Simeon, I feel bad because I have trained children. All my children are trained.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to allow the trained person to do their work. This is the work they are doing. So when the trained person tell the minister, of any minister, that there is no immediate threat, you have to respect the person who is trained.
Yeah, Clarence, how should I put it? Other circumstances, other situations, maybe it would have been different. But these UWP people, those who are publicly advocating, not going to take that line. You know, I was present at the Debranche quarry when the professionals within the ministry were addressing and taking questions and addressing the concerns that were being raised by the people who were present. They were asking their questions and they were giving them the response one time. Some of them who have been on the radio giving you the impression that there is a disaster zone and this and that, they had absolutely no questions to ask.
They have no question to ask.
They did not ask any question of the professionals, and the reason why their intentions are not good. You see, if they had good intentions, they would have come, listen, and ask, what is it you all are doing? What is the... So, a few people came and asked questions, and after they received their answers, they all appeared to me to be well satisfied.
Yeah,
they had no opposition. But yet, still following that, there are those who didn't come to ask any questions, but they are the ones that are on social media speaking as if they know what's going on there without knowing the facts in relation to it, because they are not interested in the facts. They are not interested in knowing the truth. All they're interested in is propelling propaganda out there and to go after the image of the country with a hope to achieve what? Destroying Dominica's image? I mean, come on, man. I mean,
there is
anyway.
a young guy from Delhi who is the who representing the British consultancy firm, an engineer, very trained up to master's level engineer. Young guy, he's not 40 years, but about 30, 35 years old. You can see he knows his work. Nobody has ever, they went up there, they never asked for the engineers, they never asked for anybody inside the disaster people. Tell us what you think about the area. This is what you do if you are a journalist.
But Clarence, they have news items that these professionals are speaking about what's happening there. I listened to them on their program when I went on there today. So the professionals have already spoken to their medium where the information is out there. So it's not a question of, as I explained to you, Clarence, don't expect anything positive from these negative people. These people are filled with negative energy, hate, disrespect. They are not interested in the good things or anything positive. If you try to tell them anything positive about Dominica, they prepare to fly up in your fruit. So I mean, at the end of the day, all the good things you saying they should have done, they're not going to do it. Period. And that's it. They're not going to do it. But what we can say is that, as you've said, there is no imminent threat to this slide. This was a natural disaster, and we're just happy that nobody was injured along the way. We always urge our people, whenever rain is falling and you know you're living in an area that is prone to flooding, please, move yourself to somewhere that is safe. And that's why the Met Office, the disaster people, they always put out those announcements and those notices, and I'm glad that's how it happened. But the EWP will not stop that, what they're doing, Clarence. They will continue. They've been doing it for 20-something years. They will continue. What we have to do ourselves is, whenever we come here, is to denounce all of the negative, all of the foolishness that they are talking about. But I want to switch gear a little bit from that, because obviously we had on one of our programs where the Minister for Agriculture joined us to discuss the $1 an acre of land that the Cabinet of Dominica just recently approved for farmers, where over 300 acres of land have been identified by the government in various locations within Dominica that can be leased to farmers at $1 an acre. And I was taken aback by how Rodney and others who advocate on behalf of the EWP, what they had to say about that particular thing. Let me just play that a little before we comment on it, so listeners who didn't hear what they say could hear briefly.
I don't believe and I don't trust anything the Labour Party says they're going to do. Why? Well, historically, when they make nice promises, it is always an electioneering promise without substance. And this promise of $1 an acre for a lease for young farmers, in my view, is another promise without substance. The minister made a bland comment that it is a doorway to food security and economic growth. I don't know what that is. I really don't know what that is. And let me tell you why I don't know what that is. If you are going to lease land to farmers, and you have even identified areas where you want to lease land to farmers, you need to know what the farmer's going to plant. Patchouli, marijuana, bananas, coconut, whatever. In other words, you need to have a plan. You need to know that if you are sending a farmer to farm 5 acres of land, you are not just asking him to farm 5 acres of land to plant savonette, okay? Because when he farms that land, he needs to know whether he's having farming for an annual crop, a short-term crop, a long-term crop. He needs to know what he's going to farm. Why is he going to farm that anyway? Why is he going to plant bananas in a dashing place? There is no structure.
No, I want to deal with that because the minister was on this program, and the minister spoke about the programs that they have put in place, the technical assistance that the ministry is giving, the various crops that are available for planting, and the demand that is there in the market, and the need to be consistent in our production and to set a production scale that can take us to the area where the margin that, of course, the government's policy is designed to meet by 2030. The minister spoke about all the different sections of agriculture, the different incentives that have been there. For that matter, he went on to say that to date over $200 million have been invested in the agricultural sector to help boost this industry. $200 million. So when Rodney talking about there is no substance and he don't trust what the Labour Party saying, as if the Labour Party make promises without substance, I think the EWP have to really take a rain check of what they really bringing before this Dominican public. Because one, the cabinet has already taken a decision in regard to the $1 acre of land leased to farmers. There is already a cabinet decision on that. So not like as if it's something that the Labour Party is talking about. Yes, the Labour Party went to Parliament. The Labour Party government went to Parliament. presented a budget to the people of this country. Upon presentation of the budget, gave the commitment to lease land at $1 per square feet, which is part of a policy direction of the Labour Party government. Upon that, we are seeing result today that the decision to lease the land has already been taken. And it is a question of people now applying and putting themselves in shape, those who have interest in doing agriculture. So creating the enabling environment for things to happen has been created already. So I don't know where, this so-called preacher politician comes up with this idea about he don't trust what Labour Party said. Because everything Labour Party have promised Dominica, at least I can tell you, when I look back at the manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party, I am seeing where Labour have delivered. And Labour continue to deliver. And the notion that election is coming and Labour Party trying to do something because election. My brother, take a rain check. Take a rain check on that. Because from day one, when Prime Minister Kerry took on the mantle of leadership in Dominica, I have never seen a year in those 20-something years of his leadership where there were no activity going on in the country, or where every year that I can remember is project on project on project on project on project. It started with fixing all roads in Dominica, then it moved to housing, then it developed agriculture, educating our young people in this country, making sure that our senior citizens are taken care of, providing them with something in their hands at the end of every given month, investment in our health system. I mean, when you talk about how Labour Party have invested in the health system of Dominica, now we're constructing an international airport, geothermal ready to pump out the energy to the homes. I mean, a marina is being built in the northern part of the country. You can see the work that is going on, a cable car in the valley. All of these things are happening. So what election is in the air business you're talking about? The election can be any time. It have to be in Dominica. It will not be because of election. The Labour Party is fixing a road, or the Labour Party is building an airport, or the Labour Party is assisting the needy families outside there, whether it be under the various programs that the Labour Party have. So this so-called preacher politician who those days they want to bring God in his politics and use God's name like a false prophet, I mean, it's just absolute foolishness. Instead of encouraging the people who listen to them to go and take advantage of the opportunities that are being created for them, they are out there trying to remove hope in these people's minds, to let them remain outside there hopeless, maybe to go and sit down by the bay, and rather than go in and take a boat and go and fish, or throw a line in the sea to go and fish, go and throw stones in the bay and say, La vie wed, here paka fed Dominic. This is the kind of life that they would prefer their supporters to live. It's like when Linton told Sam Raphael, wait for me. Don't go and build Jungle Bay. Because if you go and do it, that same mentality and principle is within the minds of all of them that are within that party. And it would seem to me that those who are tired of it are leaving them and are joining with the Labour Party because they get tired of that idea that these fellas are preaching doom and gloom. Is like there is no future. When they talk like there is no future in Dominica. When we have built a state college to provide for our thousands of students now to be able to go there, prepare themselves for the job market, And so I want to reject that so-called talk by that so-called preacher who claim he's a pastor. I don't know what kind of pastor he is anyway. But who claim that he is a pastor, that there is no substance in what the Labour. You don't need to trust nothing the Labour Party do. The people of Dominica will see what the Labour Party is doing. Because what the Labour Party doing is tangible things on the ground for the Dominican people. You know, you are part of a political party that have absolutely no vision. You know, and we will talk tonight about Sticky Finger Fountain. There is no vision in the UWP. The UWP for many years in opposition, and now they're not even in opposition. They're just not in the parliament at all, you know. But yet still, they are talking out there, have loud voices out there, and this is one of the reasons why we have to keep them in check. Rather than the UWP cannot fix its own house. Rodney should look at what happened recently when he put himself to be the leader of the UWP. The reason why he felt he needed to resign from being a preacher, a man of God, to go and take the leadership of UWP is because he felt that Sticky Finger Fountain is not suitable. That's the reason why this man wanted to leave his church. Even though his church is, I myself wouldn't go and sit down for Rodney to preach to me. Because Rodney need to check himself first. I think I can preach to him better than he can preach to me. Because I'm more sincere. I wouldn't be counseling no man and his wife and then after for them to go on radio and say the kind of things we heard the fella tell Matt about the road. You know, but I find it to be something else. That they have a political party that they cannot put together. They cannot even come together and unite themselves. Not even after 5 preacher men went to preach and pray for them. Could they have come out of that with a renewed sense of purpose? Even when the 5 preacher men prayed for them and they came out of that prayer, they all kaipul kwaze. They get worse than they were before that. You know, total destruction is what the UWP is about. They call for destruction on Dominica so much so that, Clarence, the destruction is within themselves.
The destruction. So, Simeon, what they up to, all of them up to now, is to discredit and create discredit and of what is happening in the country. To try and discredit the government. Discredit the professionals that work in. Simeon, as I tell people, bro, I, as a father of professionals, when I go to the international airport, Simeon, and I see the number of young women and men, all type of engineers, trained by this government, working alongside the Chinese engineers. When I see excavator operators, young Dominicans working alongside the Chinese on top of the mountain, high mountain, cutting down the mountain with their paper in their hand, whether plan or whatever it is they're doing, reading the plan before them. Dominicans, bro, young people. I feel proud as a Dominican that our Dominican young people are getting this level of training in those things. Working, young people, engineers, all form of engineers, environmental engineers, GIs, all kind of engineers trained by this government, working. And then you have a political party, all they can do is preach doom and gloom on the country. Bro, it is pathetic. How can you expect people to? So you mean to tell me a father has a son who is working as an engineer, trained as an engineer, he practicing his field, he's doing his work, and for you to be out there, think you criticizing the politician, is he you criticizing?
Yeah, but Clarence,
because he have to give the politician advice.
Criticizing the professionals is a thing that they have done all along. I mean, they have attacked public officers. I mean, you know, that's something that I got so used to them doing that I don't think they can stop doing it. But Clarence, it is something else that today a political party that cannot find its footing in Dominica. a political party that once went up to 6 seats in opposition in Dominica under Lennox Linton, went back down to 2 seats and to 0 seats today.
0 seats today.
But they want to talk about governing this country, you know, and I use simple terms. If you cannot build the political party that you have, if you cannot make the political party unite the political party that you have, how can you even unite this country? How can you build this country? What is the track record of Thompson Fontaine, who is now presenting himself as the alternative for Dominica? What is the track record? What has Thompson Fontaine achieved in his lifetime as an economist, as a Dr. Fontaine, you know, as someone who claimed to have worked at the IMF, because he likes to use that as a signature part of his. What has he brought to Dominica? With all of these years that he claimed to have gone to Sudan and saved South Sudan, what has he brought to Dominica? What has he brought to Dominica, saying that he went and he, because of him, St. Kitts economy is what it is today? I mean, what is St. Kitts economy? No? St. Kitts obviously relied on the citizenship program to build their tourism sector. They invested in hotels, they invested in infrastructure that today they can rely on even if the CBI is under pressure. They allow investment to come in through the citizenship by investment program. Very similar to what is happening in Dominica under our program. While the very same sticky finger would have criticized Dominica's program, but they were talking about how well St. Kitts was doing back in the days. When, you know, I came across an audio where we were not raising as much money as St. Kitts was doing.
Under Timothy Harris.
And they were criticizing Dominica for what we were doing compared to what. Then when we start raising the kind of money, like how these countries were doing, and we are developing on our infrastructure, they start attacking the local program like they are doing today. So Thompson Fontaine now, what makes him fit to lead this country? And when I look back at Thompson Fontaine record, I can understand why Rodney have no confidence in Thompson Fontaine. I can also understand why half of the UWP doesn't believe in Thompson Fontaine's ability to lead the UWP, even to lead Dominica. He had a narrow victory at their last delegates conference. But what is his track record? When I look closely at Thompson's track record, one thing I just seen in my eyes, you go and you search in the United States for Thompson Fontaine, is one court matter after the other court matter, one court matter after the other court matter. Because why? Every loan, it seems to me, that Fontaine has taken in his lifetime, he has caused it to go bankrupt to a point where the court have to get involved. Thompson have not built any business that you can follow with. Even when Thompson came back to Dominica and claimed that he was coming to save Dominica, I don't recall Thompson investing in any way in Dominica more than he came here hoping that, you know, he could get a job, hoping that people would put him, Dominicans would put him in power because he's Dr. Fontaine. And then the people of Grand Fond rejected him. And they do right to reject him at the election that he won when he was made a senator. And even when the UWP took Thompson to make him a senator in the parliament, Thompson was hardly available to be present in the parliament. And if my memory serves me well, he had to resign from the position because why? He had to try to go and see if he can get a job. I'm not sure if it's South Sudan or wherever he was, to try to hustle. Obviously, the man have to eat. So he was there hustling. But when he come back to Dominica boasting about he have saved economies of South Sudan, places where you see poverty, heightened poverty, war, people, tribal war among people. Obviously, Thompson couldn't continue there, because my understanding is that the funding that they were relying on, the countries that were providing the funding decided that they were no longer going to continue providing this funding for Fontaine and others. And therefore, he come back to Dominica, claiming that he left his job. I heard him saying recently that he left his job at the IMF. The truth about it is Fontaine did not leave his job at the IMF. They did not renew his contract. Fontaine did not. I don't think the IMF ever engaged him after that time.
No, never. Never.
And that was for good reasons. If he was so good, you would have seen him moving from one job because internationally to the other. But rather, we cannot see him moving to those trends. So the UWP basically have presented another person who continued the same direction of the UWP. He has not changed the direction because, one, he come attacking the international airport, asking for stoppage of the airport, which is what the UWP, we know the UWP to be doing. So he is not coming with anything different. He come with 10 pillars. We heard the Prime Minister recently on those 10 pillars. All of them fall down. So he has nothing to turn back to. He come on the promise of, well, we'll build manufacturing, we will build agriculture. But he forget about everything else relating to the country. And building Dominica is not only about building agriculture and building manufacturing. It's a lot of other subsectors of the economy that one would have to address. So, Thompson Fontaine, as we look at him today, when we look at his track record, and I want to play back that audio that I played, I think I aired it on our previous program where he was talking particularly about the DAS money, because a number of folks met me after the last program and they tell me, Simeon, as if to them it's the first time they were hearing it. And I was saying that in the past we have spoken about Fontaine and what he did to the DAS. And tonight I want to go over it for those of you who may have not heard it before, or maybe you heard it and you did not really listen. Listen to what Fontaine saying there about the DAS. And tonight we want to delete that and put that out there again for the listeners.
I mean, it was like misappropriation. Matthew, in terms of, it was like misappropriation. Matthew, misappropriate funds, if you take the money and you use it, you spend it on yourself. That is misappropriation of funds. You know, I simply was going on the order of the treasurer, and for people who missed it, on the president, on the orders of the president to get money for the organization. We had a substantial sum of money in the account. We were getting monies in for this kidney transplant as well. The substantial amount of money. Put it into a CD that could earn interest. Okay.
But let me ask at this time, because this is a DAS. I mean, this email, the exchange belongs to or was between the board members. Did somebody make that available to the public?
Yes, there is.
What was the intention there?
There is a board member who is closely affiliated with the Labour Party who passed the information on to them.
Yeah, and I'm happy that the board member put out the information. Because what that board member did was to help Dominicans to understand something about Fontaine that we would not have known. And it's better to know who you're going to employ before you employ them. Okay? So in this case, Thompson Fontaine is talking about putting money into a CD. He claimed that he put it into the CD for the DAS. Let's examine that a little closer, that so-called CD that Thompson is talking about. We have a number of emails there tonight. I want to take my time and run through them, listeners, so those of you who missed it can understand what Fontaine has been up to and why the people of this country should not trust him in the very same way as those within the UWP, half of them not trusting him.
Yeah.
So Thompson Fontaine, back in the days, when the DAS was a popular organization with the responsibility for minding the affairs of Dominicans who are living overseas, was given an important task to play in that organization. When Rosie Douglas, this is Rosie Douglas, became the Prime Minister of Dominica, Rosie was full gear in engaging that organization. Because why? They felt that the organization had an important role to play in ensuring that our citizens who are living abroad could find a medium within which they could contribute towards the development of Dominica, to the point where they wanted to pass legislation that would even have a member serving in the Parliament of Dominica. So that is how high them fellas was taking that thing and how serious they were about it. They put in place their bylaws, they had their bank account, they registered as a non-profit organization, and they put all the works together. They elected their board of directors, you know, Gabriel Christian, Clayton Shillingford, and several others, including Sticky Finger Fountain, who obviously they made the treasurer. So what happened to the organization today? Thompson, having become the treasurer, was responsible for managing the finances of that organization. Upon becoming the man responsible for managing the finances of that organization, he was entrusted with the bank account, with the money, and everything the organization had. Here comes a trustee, Mr. De Phillips, who realized that the intention of the DAS was good. And therefore, as somebody who wanted to give back to Dominica, he decided that he was going to donate to the organization several parcels of land that he had in his name, to include money that he had, so that that would help the organization in a easier way to contribute towards Dominica's development. So all of what was given to them was geared at Dominica. Thompson had a critical role to play in that. Obviously, one would expect that he, as the treasurer, would have control of the money under his watch, and that they would develop programs, plans, and activities where they could engage young people in Dominica and whoever else they feel so fit in how they could help them and to improve on their livelihood. What did Thompson Fountain do? Well, let me read an email there. I will start with this one. An email written there to the DAS board. The email says, I will attempt to state the facts as I know them. We are confronted with a situation in which the DAS treasurer, Thompson Fountain, transferred monies in free transactions from the DAS account US to his personal account. Now, you heard the audio I played at first, where Thompson is telling Matt Peltier that he never stole no money. All he did was to put the money into a CD, which is an interest-bearing account for the organization. So, Thompson Fountain, who we just heard saying that there, listen to what the board member is saying. That Thompson Fountain transferred monies in free transaction from the DAS, whichever DAS account, US, to his personal account. So the question there to Thompson, why is the DAS money being transferred to your personal account? Good. 2, there were 3 electronic transfers. 12,000 on the 2nd, 7th, 2008, 9,000 on the 9th, 8th, 2008, and 6,000 on the 1st, 26th, 2009. So, Thompson Fountain, on the 2nd of the 7th, 2008, transferred $12,000 to his personal account. Having done that, he didn't report it to the organization. He didn't inform the board of directors that he had done so. Instead, he transferred that into his personal account, having it under his personal control, using it for his personal business, believed that nobody would suspect him because he has a PhD in accounting. He seemed to be a doctor in accounting, so he think that he could doctor the books. So he went on further on the 9th of the 8th, 2008, which was again just about a month later, to transfer another $9,000 into his personal account. Again, he did so without informing the board of directors, the president, and other members of the board. That action took place a month later in 2008. But you would think that he would have satisfied that, boy, I do that twice, I get away with it. Let me chill out. Let me take it easy. Let's focus on the young people of Dominica. Let's focus on, making sure that we can help Dominica with that money. No. What did Fountain do after that? Well, on the 26th of January 2009, now you had August would have been the 8th of the month of 2008. So a few months later, August, September, October, November, December, 4 months going into the 5th month, on the 26th of January 2009, Fountain transferred another $6,500 to his personal account. Now, people, there is a pattern. There is a pattern in what I just explained to you. He took it the first time. Nobody said nothing or saw it or was paying attention to the accounts. A month later, he go back and take another $9,000. Having taken the 12 at first, he goes back and take another $9,000. And then now, on the 26th of January 2009, thinking that he gets in away with it. Because remember, he's not supposed to take that money of the organization and put into his personal account. What did he do? Went again and take another third tranche, this time $6,500, and put into his account. The board member is saying, I was told by the bank that those funds all went into Thompson Fountain Bank Staff Federal Credit Union account. Let me read that again. I was told by the bank that those funds all went into Thompson Fountain Staff Federal Credit Union account. I have no idea why these transfers took place without our knowledge. Because the director expected that with 3 consecutive transfers by the treasurer, Sticky Finger Fountain, that having done these 3 transfers, at least he should have mentioned it. And somebody should know why these things are being done. So the director is saying to the members of the board, I have no idea why these transfers took place without our knowledge. There was also an unexplained amount in the account. But the third point is, Thompson claimed that the funds were put in a CD in his name to gain interest. So when they catch him, because obviously one of the directors who may not be a doctor like him or have a PhD like him, but could read the bank statement. I mean, obviously, Fountain, you expect that a bank statement will be printed. When they catch him having transferred all that money into his personal account, what did he say? Fountain claimed that the funds were put in a CD in his name to gain interest. Now, people, why didn't Fountain put the money in the DAS account to gain interest for the DAS? Because that is the correct thing an ethical person would have done. Knowing that the money does not belong to you and the money belongs to the organization. Why didn't Fountain go to the board of directors and present a proposal to them that he believed that if they put the money in a CD, they would gain more money on it, more interest on it? Why didn't he present that as a proposal to the board and to get the approval of the board to do it? No, he didn't do that. Because obviously his intentions were clear. Number 4, I was not comfortable, says the board of directors, with this arrangement and asked Thompson to restore the funds back to the DAS account some months ago. So months ago, they asked Thompson to mette l'argent la VA, put back the DAS money back into the DAS account. So months after, Thompson had not done that. Hence the reason for that email that is written to the board of directors, because they could no longer keep it between them and Thompson Fontaine because of the action of Fontaine. So the director said, I was uncomfortable. You know, I was not comfortable at all with this arrangement and asked Thompson to restore the funds back to the account months ago. He has not up to the present done so. Hence, the reason for this email. Now, people, all of us have sense in our head. We don't need to have a doctorate. We don't need all of these different things. But listen to that, you know. Please let me know. Please let me have your views on what further steps may be necessary. I would ask you to keep this communication within the DAS leadership, since we do not know all the facts. But the facts as it is that Thompson did make 3 consecutive transfers months apart. And why Fontaine do that without the board direction is clear, that Fontaine needed money. And he saw money. And as the treasurer, he was not prepared to follow the direction of the organization. He was not prepared to respect the laws and the bylaws of the organization, knowingly that a man who have a PhD in finance and a man who is even called a doctor, one would expect that he would know that when you withdraw money from an account, there is a statement that is left behind. And if a member of the board reconciled that statement, it would become obvious, the withdrawals and the deposit into the account. But that didn't come into Fontaine's head. He never cared about that. All he cared about is putting the money into his personal account for his personal business without the knowing of the members of the board of directors. So people, when Thompson comes and tell Matt Peltier that he never stole the money, and to pretend as if he put it in an interest-bearing account for the organization, he put it into a CD, as he claimed, because he figured we might, using that word, we might not understand. The truth about it is, Fontaine put the money in his personal account, and that is what the facts are in the email that was presented. And he did so by taking the money on several occasions. So he thought he got away with it the first time, he take a chance on it a second time. He thought he got away with it the second time, he took another chance the third time until Yochebe, they catch him. Now, in other words, when these kind of things happen, they say you steal the money, because that is how people are charged for theft. When you are working in an institution where money that is paid for the purpose of services or whatever, or people donate to the institution, and you take it and you go and put it in your personal account, and it is reported, the police come and arrest you. You even lose your job. You even lose all benefits because it is considered theft. Now, in this case, they did not report Thompson, but Thompson was threatened. Now, let me read another email there. This is a sensitive issue internally and one which threatens the stability and good name of the organization. So another member named Gabriel Christian, who does call sometimes to try to tell us Thompson is fit and qualified to run Dominica. This is what Gabriel say to all. This is a sensitive issue internally and one which threatens the stability and good name of our organization. No one is passing judgment there. We are simply seeking to ensure integrity in all our processes. Accordingly, I reiterate Clayton's position and that of others that we treat this sensitive matter with a great degree of confidentiality and resist any action which may turn it into an issue for public scandal mongering. Well, guess what, Gabu? It is in the public. And it's not for public scandal mongering, but it's to put out the facts of the true character of the man who you, Gabriel Christian, stays where you are in the United States and want to tell us he's so good at what he does. Where is the DAS today, Mr. Gabriel Christian? What has happened to the institution? According to you, Thompson action threatens the stability and good name of the organization. And Gabriel was right. Not only did Thompson action threaten the good name of the institution, but it also went on to destroy it. This is one of the reasons why today there is no organization referred to as the DAS. Nothing at all. They don't even talk about it anymore. Not even Sticky Finger Fountain. Any one of them. Because why? Thompson action destroyed it. Now, listen to what Gabriel Christian is saying again. In response to Frank. Where Thompson does not do as requested, it becomes a matter for law enforcement. What is Gabriel Christian saying to Frank there, who I guess is a member of the board? Where Thompson does not do as requested, it becomes a matter for law enforcement. What did they request Thompson to do? Refund the money. Put the money you put into your personal account back into the DAS account. But Thompson was failing even after months. For all the money he claimed to make and all the smart there, he was failing to put that money back. And because of that, Gabriel Christian, the very man, as I will say again, that want to tell us Thompson good, say where Thompson failed to do as requested, it becomes a matter for all. So what that means, if they had reported this matter, Thompson would have been arrested. Possibly take jail too, because these non-profit organizations, they don't play them in the U.S. So Gabriel said it is simple. It is that simple. That is how Gabriel see that. When he look at it in his judgment, you know, isn't he a lawyer, Clarence?
Yes, he's a lawyer.
Right. So for him, Thompson should have been arrested. Simple as that. Put him in law enforcement hand. According to Gabriel Christian, it is that simple. It was so simple for Gabriel because there was clear evidence of Thompson having transferred all of this money into his personal account. But he went on to say, I hope it does not get to that point. That's what Gabu is saying. He hopes it does not get to that point. Where a member of the board does not comply with the basic rules of proper financial stewardship of the organization resources, resignation is a must. In other words, Gabriel Christian called for Thompson's resignation effective immediately, bearing in mind where a member of the board does not comply with the basic rules of proper financial stewardship of the organization resources, resignation is a must. So they call for Thompson to resign. Resign and refund the money. But he made some recommendations. And he said, my recommendation to the board is based on Thompson's admission that he transferred the DAS funds to his personal account in his name. You hear that? So Gabriel made those strong points because of Thompson Sticky Finger Fountain admission that he had transferred the DAS funds to his personal account in his name. He has acknowledged that, says Gabriel. He has acknowledged that much. You know, the POA seeks to revert ownership of these funds from Thompson's. So in other words, they had an agreement with him where he has acknowledged that, and he's saying that the POA seeks to revert ownership of these funds that from Thompson to an account in the name of the DAS, and thereafter to allow someone of competence to do an audit to rectify this regrettable incident. So they wanted to bring somebody to audit what Thompson had done and to see if there were other things that he may have done. Again, he says, with all due respect, we continue to urge Thompson to comply. Now, did Thompson comply? The truth is, when we brought Clayton Shillingford here in the studio, and all the discussions we have with him, not on one occasion did this man tell Dominicans that Sticky Finger had complied. They covered up for him. They didn't put him before law enforcement. Somehow they gave him a free pass. But what happened is the institution was destroyed. Now, here is an email to Clayton I want to read for you. It says, Dear Clayton, the situation which you outlined is troubling. These transfers should not have been effected without the knowledge of the DAS board. And I want to agree with that. Because any person in their good senses, with the responsibility that Sticky Finger Fountain have, should have known that is basic knowledge. That if you're going to make these transfers, you should have done it with the knowledge of the board. But he didn't do that. Or at the very least, the person say the knowledge of the president. And Thompson did not do that. He did not inform the president that he was going to make these transfers or any one of the free transfers that he made. Moreover, the person is saying in the email, the director is saying, moreover, it seems unlikely to me that these transfers could have been effected without only one signature. So how he did it? Yeah or no, you need to tell Dominicans. All of these organizations to which I have ever belonged, and they are numerous, always requires 2 signatures to effect transfers, or even to sign a check for bills payment. I am amazed, says the director, that the treasurer did not require another signature to effect these transfers. And again, a transfer to his personal account is unacceptable for whatever reason. I trust that we will be able to resolve this issue with, speed, and that such an event will not occur again, because steps should be taken to ensure that any transfer of funds or any check written requires signatures. I also trust that this matter can be continued within the board and not broadcast to ensure DAS membership as a case with so many other situations. So this is the case that the board of directors laid down on Thompson Fountain. Now, you would have think that Thompson would have, understand that he should refund the money, which would have been the better thing for him to do. You already take it, you transfer it into your personal account. They finally catch you. Now they put an agreement with you to repay it back. Put it back. But Thompson, monsieur dit pas qu'à faire ça. Il pas qu'à mettre l'argent la vie. So they came after him now with these emails that we have placed our hands on. Now, just imagine that man controlling our treasury on the premise that he is a doctor and he is a PhD holder and he brighter than all of us in Dominica, according to him. What would happen to us in Dominica? This track record of Thompson Fountain makes him unfit. to be a prime minister or even a minister of finance, or to be responsible for finance on a whole. I wouldn't hire Thompson Fontaine and put him to be responsible for my finances.
Or a minister. I mean, minister.
After that kind of track record, because the man, as I said, didn't comply, not even after they caught him. You know, he attempted to fix it. So one member asked, is Thompson encountering difficulty in removing the monies from his account for depositing into a properly authorized DAS account? A question. If not, why is he not proceeding to do so as he should, as he is now instructed to do? The man is a competent professional who perhaps overzealously overreached himself. He is the elected treasurer of the academy, and unless he resigns or is removed, must comply, or then and only then face the consequences. So here we are, people. The consequences is what Sticky Finger is facing in the public court today for his actions in transferring money that didn't belong to him and putting it into his private and personal account. And that was nothing about he didn't steal money, or he didn't, according to him, put it into his personal account, or he put it in an account. No. What Thompson did tantamounts to theft. His action in how he dismantled the organization is clear for the world to see. And the evidence is there for us to read and to get an understanding of who the man Thompson Fontaine is. So not only did a portion of land of the DAS find itself in Thompson's name, but the DAS money that it would have retrieved from having sold some portions of the land found itself in Thompson Fontaine's account. And why did Thompson not put back that money? Because he put it into a credit union account where he went and take a loan against the money. Use it for personal security. And that's why one of the members was asking, but why is it so? If you just put the money in an account where you have the money, Carissa and Clarence, you know, welcome Carissa. If you put the money in an account where, you know, Carissa, okay, you make a mistake. You put the money in your account, your personal account, but they catch you. They tell you bring it back because you tell them you put it there to make interest. Obviously, they don't expect you to go and commit a loan against the money that still doesn't belong to you. But in this case, Thompson couldn't bring it back. He didn't have the funds to put it back because why, Carissa? He had utilized this money for his own personal business. And this is one of the reasons why this has become such a serious matter. This is one of the reasons why Dominicans have to understand this man didn't just have money on his account, but land that was bequeathed to the organization, put under his care and that of Clayton and the board. A piece of the land ended up in Rosalie in his name. And then Thompson had the guts on the radio to say that he so wanted to own a piece of land there because of sentimental reasons. You know, talk about his father and his family. When in net respect, his father did not own that land. That land that was Mr. De Phillips bequeathed to the DAS did not belong to Sticky Finger Fontaine family. So where was his sentimental reasons in it? Why wasn't he able to buy a piece of land there when he claimed to have been making thousands of dollars at the IMF? Why didn't he invest in Grand Fond in the constituency? some of the DAS money that was given to him because he cared so much for the constituency? Why didn't he tell the DAS, instead of him putting it into his personal account and cannot refund it, why didn't he advise them to donate some of it to Grand Fund, Monjon, where we have young people and we need to give them opportunities? Why didn't he do that? No, because he put himself and only himself first. And this is one of the reasons why I am saying to Dominicans, you have to evaluate this man. Because this track record of such a person, he can't come and call people corrupt. Thompson is the last person that should come and talk about corruption and money missing. Because under his watch, money literally went missing. They only find out it was in his personal account. And he still could not have refunded it. That's why they call for law enforcement. That's why they call for him to resign. And I want to tell you, not only did he resign, but the company, no longer, the so-called DAS, fini, immo. So why should us Dominicans trust a man like that, Carissa, to lead the country? And Clarence?
Yeah, well, Simeon, good night, and good night to the listeners. And I mean, I've been listening to you for the entire night. Very, very passionate. I mean, and you as an individual who served on numerous boards and in organizations, you know that there's a right way to do things.
Of course.
And I guess that's the reason why you're so passionate about this, you know. And like every one of us who is involved in organization, we have to be very careful with organizations' funds. Very, very, very careful, because it's not our own. And you know, sometimes we see big money in front of us, and we feel that we can take little by little, but you never know, because they always say 99 days for the thief and 1 day for the watchman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think it's a situation where persons have to be very careful with organizations' fund. And what you described there, based on the emails that you shared, Simeon, I mean, in any organization, that would be considered gross misconduct. And there is only one penalty for gross misconduct, is immediate termination. Hence the reason why I figure some people were calling for his resignation in that regard. And the other thing, Simeon, based on what you shared, there wasn't any decision, even based on the emails that you read, there wasn't any decisions by the board to have the money put in that particular account.
No.
But there was a decision to have it taken out of the account. And the question is,
we must be clear, to take it out of Thompson's account and put it back into the DAS account.
To put it back into the DAS account.
Right.
So the question is, was that done?
No.
And when was it done?
It was never done. None of the emails that I have read says that it was done, and neither did the interview conducted with Creighton Shillingford, who was the president of the organization. Ever could he confirm that Thompson had ever done so, because Thompson had run into serious lawsuits and serious financial difficulties that basically where he had committed this money to a loan which he didn't repay, and so he could not have refunded the money at the time when he was being asked to do so. So all of his actions were wrong. And this is one of the reasons, Carissa, why the board called for Thompson's resignation, why they asked for law enforcement to intervene in what Thompson was doing. Now, on the 16th of October 2009, Thompson submitted his resignation letter because, as you know, the board felt that this was a serious enough matter that there needed to be swift action against Sticky Finger Fountain. And so on October 16, 2009, Thompson wrote to Clayton Shillingford, the president, and the members of the DAS. But listen to his resignation letter. Dear members of the board, it is with deep regret that I write to announce my resignation as DAS treasurer and as a member of the DAS Executive Board effective October 16, 2009. Let me thank you all for your unprecedented opportunity to serve this great organization, Wichikil, those past 8 years. My hope is that with my resignation, the board will once again focus the issue that need to be tackled in an effort to realize the goals and objective of the organization. I live with no regrets, says Sticky Finger Fountain. I live with no regret, knowing that I served with honesty and integrity. May say that man there have guts like more than them cats got the friend in the sea to pull them bitching and them thing there from under the sea. The man say, I serve with honesty. He live with no regret, you know. Now, I want us to analyze that part there of his resignation letter carefully. I live with no regret, knowing that I serve with honesty and integrity. The same traits that have guided my life and effort to this point. I wish you every success as you continue to work in the best interest of our beautiful country, Dominica. Respectfully, Thompson Fountain. Now look at all what I read leading into Thompson's resignation. Where 1, he transferred the money into his personal account. 2, he had land in his name which nobody else knew of. 3, they asked him to put back the money within a certain time. He didn't put it back. 4, they called for law enforcement and all kind of thing on him, to the point where they asked for his resignation. You have the guts, Thompson Fountain, to say that you have no regrets? Huh? Now, Carissa, after having done all what this man did, to say to them that he should have said, I have regrets. Because the regrets is that I, Thompson Fountain, transferred money into my personal account that I should not have done. But the man have guts, almost operating like a person. If given the opportunity again, he would do the same thing. Because the other thing saying, Clarence and Carissa, if you're not a person that learn to apologize when you do something that is wrong, because we all are human. According to Lennox Linton, when Al Jazeera catch him, he realized we all make mistakes, you know? So we all are human. You can make a mistake. But to say you have no regret that you made that mistake, and to even have the gall, Sticky Finger, to tell the members, knowing that you served with honesty and integrity, how does the word honesty and integrity come into play when your action was that you transferred money without the knowledge of the board into your personal account, which you use for your personal interest, where you lie to the board telling them you put it there in an interest-bearing account for them, and when they ask you for it,
But Simeon, did he say in the resignation letter that here is a check, I enclose in the letter a check number for $27,000, the refund of the money with the interest or whatever the case may be? Did he write that in the letter?
There is no acknowledgement of that in the letter. None at all. He didn't acknowledge the money. He never even tell them, well, I'm resigning, but I will make every effort to pay back the money. There was nothing like that in the letter. He acted like he had never done that. This man, I mean, I don't know how you refer to somebody.
When you take something that is not yours,
yeah,
and you do not pay it back, what is that?
Currency is theft.
Okay.
It is theft.
So you are telling us,
yeah,
that somebody who has committed theft and by nothing committed theft is vying to be the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance of this country.
But that is what we are getting, and that is one of the reasons why we warning Dominicans about who Thompson Fountain is. He's a very dangerous man. And why I believe he is even more dangerous, his lack of acknowledgement of the facts. Because, as I say, a man can make a mistake. But when you get caught, you still not acknowledging that you made a mistake. You still going on to even make the people believe that you serve with honesty and integrity when everything they're telling you. They even ask for your resignation. That is the reason why Sticky Finger penned that letter. Because he was asked to resign. Because they didn't see him as being fit and suitable to continue serving the organization. But he ended his resignation letter by telling them that he lived with no regret and knowing, you know, that he served with honesty and integrity.
And the money is still outstanding.
And the money outstanding, and it's still in his bank account. Monsieur, Clarence, I don't know how much worse he can get. I mean, Clarence, when a person behave in such a way, and they so bold, because the man bold, you know, I would have put my tail in my bottom, and I would have apologized to the board of directors for my action.
I'm sorry.
And I would tell them in a few paragraphs how I intend on settling the outstanding money that I took from the account, because obviously that's what they're asking him to do. He makes absolutely no acknowledgement of those facts and pretend like his resignation was like he was living on good terms and that he had done such an outstanding job, as he liked to tell us he did in South Sudan and the other places where he served. Obviously, none of those things was taken into consideration, rather than a man who destroyed the organization, took money that didn't belong to him, and here he is telling them he living with no regrets. Well, Thompson, I hope you regret it now, because we are putting it in the public domain, and I intend on reading them over and over and over until every man, woman, and child in Dominica understand how much of a dangerous person you are. Because for you to say you had no regrets, and to even go as far as to claim that you served that organization with honesty and integrity, tell me that your PhD you have and your doctorate, something wrong with your brain. Something wrong with your brain, and not the PhD you have and the doctorate you have that will escape you from that one. Because you cannot be so dishonest to claim to have served with honesty and integrity in such a case, Carissa.
Simeon, you've been quoting US or EC?
As far as I'm concerned, they deal with US in America, you know.
US?
Yes.
So we in an EC country.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to break it down. We're talking about $73,000 at the end of the day.
Well, you can put the numbers together. You know, the 12,000, the 12,000, you know, and 27,500.
So that is about 80,000.
Yeah, 27,000. You know.
But Simeon, the question about, I mean, this thing about honesty and integrity. I mean, the question is, who is the judge for those characteristics? If an assessment were to be done by the DAS board, would they come up with those words, honesty and integrity? Those are some of the questions that we would have to ask. It's Simeon.
I don't think there is any place for honesty and integrity in that action. The truth about it is there was nothing about what Thompson did that brought around any form of honesty. And he wasn't even honest enough. According to Gabriel earlier, he admitted that he had transferred the money into his personal account. And I want to read this other email, because I have a whole set of them. Let me read this one. I am surprised, one of the directors is saying, because they wrote to Thompson, I am surprised and at a loss as to why it has come to this. It was clear a lapse of judgment by Thompson to transfer 27,500 of DAS funds into his personal account at a different bank. Whatever the reason, if the CDs are promptly liquidated and the money is returned to the DAS account at whichever where the account is, there may be no need for a POA. This is an extremely untidy and sensitive situation which always impacts the credibility of the DAS. which also impacts the credibility of the DAS. And all that we have strived for. We need to resolve this as quickly as possible. Confidently. Confidentiality needs to be first and without any rancor. And Thompson needs to come forward and help resolve it quickly. Quickly.
So you mean
Simeon,
Simeon?
sorry. Let me ask Simeon. So Simeon, did you say earlier on that the transfer was done with one signature? I mean,
I don't know which signature he had. All I know is, according to them, there should have been 2 signatures. So they were questioning how is it possible that Fontaine was able to do that without even the knowledge of the president. If there were 2 signatures, the possibility is that, you know, sometimes people like to sign blank checks. That is one possibility. Or the other possibility is that Thompson alone that can explain it. That's the possibility I put in there. Yeah. Thompson need to come and explain to the Dominican public how he was able to do that magic in transferring on 3 separate occasions totaling to $27,500 into his personal and private account. Only Thompson that know how he did it. Not even the DAS members that knew how Thompson was able to do that. You know, so he have a lot of tricks in his head. And here he is portraying himself as so Thompson, with all that, and I don't touch about your cases yet, you know, because I'll touch it another night. I can't go for everything in one night. So the next program, I will deal with the other cases you had to show Dominicans what kind of man we're dealing with. But tonight I'm dealing with the free account. The free accounts where you sticky finger. Pour l'argent qui parte ça. You like to come and call people corrupt. That is corruption. That is the kind of thing they call in vol qui passe out. When you that is the kind of things. You go, you do all them things there. Destroy the. But let me take the phone. The phone start going. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All I can remember when that happened, I sat down on my chair listening to CNN that night. When Gabriel Christian came out and told somebody to put the gas money back in their account before they arrest him. Nobody on the air wasn't talking about it now. All the minutes also where I get that and all you wasn't reading now. It's after when you make research, all you start to get to know about that, and now it is all the way out there. Because that was my history all the time on the radio about something and that's money. It wasn't a joke. Right? It wasn't a joke. And we need to put back that money. He have to come on the air and apologize. Because at the time I call and he say on their program that he already dealt with it, you know. He had said that because I was giving him pressure all the time. When you go and take the loan in credit union, he and Gabriel Christian still in God, take the small piece of land, and he took the big piece. He went and took the loan in the credit union. He never paid back the loan, and credit union had to seize the land. And you tell me you want to go up and represent people in Dominica. So when you became Minister of Finance, you're going to dry the treasury and going to leave Dominica under more scrutiny than how they live it in the past. Who going to support that man? That man's supposed to take out his name as leader of the opposition. He's not no leader. We have one leader now. Is the one in Southbridge. She was launched by the president. That's the only leader for Dominica right now. Not Thompson Fountain, not Joshua, not none of them. So this man is just a wash. And no come and talk his nonsense for Dominicans. I myself don't know about it. What if I sit down there, I listen to CNN, I love to watch CNN. because I get a lot of vibes there. I don't know what's on Facebook for stupidity, you know. I go in on CNN and taking the news there for me to be able to explain when I come on the radio. Some people want to come and say, oh, my election coming now, yeah, I can't behave. Because when they call it my Prime Minister Wale, they call him criminal. They call him all kind of things. An honest man that walking west to go to America, go all over to get help for this country. And those fellas go and cheat. When they call him the Prime Minister, you forget about Algeria. When they go there and take money, 50,000 for that one, 50,000 for a lawyer. You say you're representing people, and you want 50,000 money, right? So you see how powerful these people are? I have always said they all have to fall one by one, and that's power, and they all go down. Right when they're trying to build up again, but they cannot, because when you have a bobo, and the bobo pure, it's still really not there. So they cannot get away from their wrongdoing and want to come and say things about my Prime Minister. They have to sit down there and listen to them, criticizing an honest man, and don't talk it to them. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I have to put a muzzle in my mouth. And nobody can tell me no stupidness when he says defending my Prime Minister on the radio. That young man goes for so much, and he's still going through. So I have to sit down there and listen to them as though they're so honest. These fellas are dishonest. These fellas are evil and they're wicked. And you have a pastor coming and saying they have to put confusion. What confusion? Confusion is the key. All the threat that they do, their confusion is right there with them. Now they want to take my Prime Minister, all bring him to court, dragging him to court. First time I ever hear Prime Minister go to court like that, under UWP. And I want me to sit down there and take it in my stomach and don't say nothing.
Thank you, Mommy.
So letting them have it.
That's right. Thank you again.
Anyway, have a blessed night.
He will do.
Right safely. It is civil, you know, it's safety.
Yes, yes.
So let's take it easy. God bless you all.
Bless you too.
God is true.
Bless you too.
God is wise because the first woman he married is my cousin.
Will do.
Have a blessed night.
You too, Mommy. Take care, man. I see Comrade Lloydie there is on the platform there for us. Comrade Lloydie, you can unmute your mic there if you would like to contribute it on the discussion that we are having here this evening. I think I saw. Are you there with us? Yeah. Comrade Lloydie, are you following? All right. I am not sure if he's listening, but you can unmute your mic when you are available, of course, to join us in the discussion that we are having there. But gentlemen, I mean, this is a serious thing. This is not, somebody. I saw a comment. There was somebody saying that, we don't have no evidence on Fountain. Well, if we didn't have evidence on him, I don't think we could be saying the things we're saying on the radio about him. He would be by a lawyer all tonight. They're fixing his lawsuit because they like to sue, you know.
They like to sue.
You know, so you have to ask yourself, listener, why is it that Fountain has not taken any action against us? Because the facts are there. That's why you have not taken any action, because the facts are there. So there is nothing you can defend where that is concerned. Caller, good evening on the telephone.
Boy, Simeon, good evening, telephone boy, you bang in by flying living colors, listening to members and members. So Simeon, now I know you're making cities to make money.
Yeah.
So the free city, Simeon, the free city, Mr. Fountain has now. It was the first name was Fountain, make money for me, number two, make money for me, number three, make money for me.
Yeah.
Because when you put your money in the account, obviously you get interest.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So eventually people both say about professional. Everybody can be professional, but the most important thing about professional is when they give you something to do what you have to respect yourself. You know what? That is the most important thing. So to me, I love professionals, but the most important thing when you want to do is professional decision because all of them say hypocrite and bad mind. If something can't balance that liquor thing, how you can here I just try to talk about him, not no joking. I tell right now they have to play more of Try Cool. No, it's real. Rather than talk about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you know the other day, I call that program, I call it my partner Rodney, this is a pastor I respect him. I can say what I want on that program. There is no way that I can tell somebody something. And my program, and they have a program I don't call them as injustice or gangster Rodney. If I was talk about food security, talking about, but I don't know nobody, I love everybody, but I don't know like Mali. That country is my country as a politician, yeah. And you know, that's why I was really no crap, no cooking, no gun, no money in my country, I don't know business, no love and nothing. It's like I don't defend politicians, I defend in my country, Rasta. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear me talking and someone like say, I don't hate nobody, I don't defend in my country, and any man or woman that have a problem in the country, that have a problem with me, get it straight. And that country cannot move by itself. We have to move the country, and its chances in like Simeon, telling one like that. Everything in the country is chances. You know what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
So make nobody think that they can stop our development and stop our original right. But in the right time, again, even if you have to die and go to heaven, it's better to live and not in heaven. So before I go. Every time we have an issue in our country now, I know whole heap of people are about this nation and whole heap of things. Now, since I bring the visa restriction again, I go to the world, Simeon. How much people you see in from Rivanica, in America that have a flag saying that whatsoever that passed, it wasn't correct for the Caribbean people after we build America. How much you see them? How much you see? How much of them you see there?
I see them saying that.
None, right?
Yeah.
You see none said nothing, right? But in the country they have organizing to say, come in America and when they say come and rally by the, you forget they come and rally by the White House. You forget that? You forget that? Don't forget them and say come and rally by the White House, make as if we have a problem in our country. And right now we have a problem, nobody rallying. But let me tell you something, but we live in a good country. I don't think we have more devil than angel in there. One part, you're on top of things. Nobody can have chances in life. Up and running, fireman running, that's what I need to do.
Yes, I. Yeah, man. Yeah, fireman. Thank you for your contribution. Yeah, let me see if our comrade Lloydie is present. Lloydie, if you are present, you can unmute your mic so I can put you on. I believe you are there with us. Good evening, Lloydie. Welcome, brother.
Good evening, my dear comrade and friend.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome.
Clarence, how are you?
I'm cool, man. I'm cool. Thank you for the call on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Can't everybody have to do your business?
Yeah, right.
But give you a call privately. Everybody have to do your business. Let's go, Panda.
No, I was when I got the news, I was kind of concerned, very concerned.
Yeah.
So I said the only person I could call right now at the time would be parents to give me some feedback and some proper information. So, Simo, I listened to you and Clarence earlier, and Thompson pointed is somebody that we cannot trust at all. Not for the most basic job in the country, furthermore to the most important job in the country. And I heard for the Thompson Pocket on the clip said that misappropriation of funds is when you take organization money and use it on yourself. That is not true. That is not the definition for misappropriation of funds. Misappropriation of funds is when you take an organization money and use it for anything but what it's supposed to be used for, which is for the organization. And that is what he did. But Thompson, they have questionable characteristics. These guys have not been honest with themselves. They haven't been honest with organizations that they work with. Furthermore, for being honest in government. So we're not going to have Thompson run this country when Thompson himself cannot, as you said earlier, Simu, Thompson himself cannot tell us what he have satisfactorily achieved, whether it's at the IMF that he steady work, whether it's in South Sudan. I mean, Thompson was in South Sudan, Simu, and South Sudan is worse than when Thompson led people. He messed up the people's place worse than it was already. Because the truth is, Trump's only concerned about money. That is why you say you call him sticky finger. He's only concerned about money and himself. another country. So we gotta be very careful. Thompson was rejected several times by his own UWP people. He was criticized by them. They called him all sorts of names, and in some cases said that they want their party back. That is UWP saying that. That's us talking here. And so we know for sure that this guy is not the person that we want to lead this country. Right? We are in a position, we have a leader that understands clearly what he wants to do and how he wants to take our country, what he wants to take it. And that is why we overwhelmingly vote the Labour Party under the leadership of Rutherford Garrett, because we know and we have experienced in the past how our country has been transformed by the leadership of Rutherford Garrett, the Prime Minister. So Thompson has a lot of work to do. We have a lot of introspection. We have a lot of stuff to take care of before he can even think of foreign for this country. So Simon, I'm very pleased with the way you unpacked Thompson Fontaine tonight. I'm very pleased with the way you describe the entire way that Thompson operates and his flawed characteristics. And so he is or should not never make it to the reign of this country to lead anybody. Thompson has failed at the IMF. Thompson has failed in South Sudan. Thompson has failed with the gas. Thompson has failed even himself. Thompson has failed with the European. So there's no way we can think of having Thompson at the helm of this country. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll be listening to the remainder of the program.
Yes, thank you, comrade. Thank you for your contribution there, because it is very important that the people of Dominica understand the true character of Thompson Fontaine, why he is not fit, why he cannot be trusted, why even within the UWP they will not trust him, because with all these questionable issues hanging over his head, these are a serious cause for concern, and you cannot take the risk of putting in a man like that after he have been tested. Don't mind all this Dr. Retty come with there and all his PhD and his stuff. That doesn't make him fit, because simply on those basis, his actions that he has demonstrated over the years is what we will qualify him by. And when I look at how Thompson has handled this thing, it tells me that Thompson, is a person that seems to have a really sticky finger for true, and if given a chance.
Simeon, my concern,
Yes.
Can you imagine Thompson Fontaine is Prime Minister or Minister of Minister of Finance, or Minister of Finance, and he has to go to the IMF to negotiate assistance for Dominica, or the World Bank, because they are brothers and sisters. After all these misgivings that are on you, they have your file and things, so when they open your file, they will shame Dominica and say, well, Dominicans do not know what they are doing. That is it. You get fired by the and you're telling people you reason. You get fired by the IMF from a $15,000 job a month, plus allowances and travel allowances and everything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the man must have been knocking up to $20,000 a month.
Yes, $20,000 US.
$20,000 a month. He could have been knocking 15,000 gross salary, and then I do not know the tax laws in the U.S. If you are a non-citizen, so he either is a resident, and this is something we need to find out. Is he a citizen of the U.S.? We do not know about his taxes. So if
he'll have to answer those questions in relation to.
So you cannot be making all that money, and for you to be so and for you to be so unscrupulous with other people's money. Simeon, with money that is not yours. So you have an organization there, you're the treasurer. Come on, man, after all, man. Dominicans, come on. After all, you WPNs.
Now, they made attempts to collect the money. Let me read an email that Thompson wrote. He said, I agree that I delayed too long with liquidating the CD. But does that justify the accusations to which I have been subjected? Does it justify being summoned to sign a POA? Does it justify suggestions of criminal law enforcement? Thompson asking that, you know, after Gabe who put the figure there. He asking, he have the goal. Just put back the people money. You know, he pack a face, you know.
But he could not do it, Simeon. We all know he could not do it.
he don't put it back, you know, but he asking them all kind of stupid question. Call a good evening to you on the telephone.
Mr. Albert, good evening to you, Mr. Albert and Mr. Clarence and Clarence.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Albert, you have an excellent program tonight. Thank you. And fire, good things. I'm learning a name limited that has called your program, you know. Every day you're learning different things on that program. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Albert,
yes.
Can you imagine? This man is the treasurer of that. Money end up landing straight in your account, in your own personal account. Can't you tell this? What about if Dominican never give them money in charge and you have to handle the treasury?
Wow.
No, Dominican, this is not no game. That is not them now. This is a serious factor. And you have to know what all in want. We cannot afford to have this fellas handling the treasury. Mr. Albert.
No.
Oh, this is high robbery, that. Dominicans, come on and imagine. The money is for the young people. You couldn't find nothing to do for the young people. First person would do your come to something they like, and this is not useless party. Don't like the people of Dominica, you know, they don't even like love the young people. Dominican lazy over his ears out. Open all your ears, hold on your ears, do like an African and open his eyes and listen. We cannot have man like Thompson Fountain running the affairs of Dominica because we'll go underwater like the Titanic. You understand?
Yes,
We have the Honorable Prime Minister. See, Mr. Albert, this is trying times. The whole world is upside down, and PM is doing his best, and things are getting done in Dominica. You understand?
Yes.
This is the right man for the country. Anyway, Mr. Clarence is not with me. Mr. Albert had to come Dominica Sunday, you know. I was so frightened. First thing I remember, when I finished, first thing I remember about Erica. I said, what happened? I had to come Dominica to find out what is going on.
Yeah, man.
In Fishland.
But we're all right.
Some of the there's breaking news, emo news, or you know better than that. Stop putting Dominica in a bad light outside here. Okay? All you want to hide that. When people saying it, you know, like is the government or the PM that responsible of that.
That's what they would want you to believe. Yeah. That's what they would want you to believe.
If what they word on the platform, platform is positiveness. No, it can't be just negative all the time, man.
Yeah.
Oh, we are Dominicans at the end of the day. Support your party, but when it comes to the truth, when to stand for truth and facts. That's why I love the program, when it comes for the facts and the truth. And there's haters on Facebook, they never upset when they will hit them with the truth. Mr. Albert, you have a good night and drive home safely, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, my dear, for your contribution here to the discussion here tonight as we continue to examine, this matter between Sticky Finger Fountain and the DAS, because this, of course, is a serious case for the people of Dominica to consider as to why this man should never be trusted. And I not saying don't give Thompson Fountain a job. Everybody have to have a job to eat. But don't put Thompson Fountain nowhere close to being in charge of money. That is the one thing. Not just to be the prime minister, because when you become the prime minister of the country, you have power in your hands. You are entrusted with power. And that power can direct many things. And Fountain has no remorse. For that matter, he was, in his response to the DAS, he was telling them, during the coming week, you can expect to receive from me a full and complete reporting dating back to 2002, when this all started along with my resignation letter, since I have clearly lost the confidence of the leadership. But it is not Thompson that lost the confidence of the leadership. It is the leadership and the board of directors that lost confidence in Thompson. But here he is in his response to them, making them think it's he that lose, as if it was them that committed the act of transfer of money into their personal account and not him. I mean, Clarence, I don't know. I'm trying to understand this man's brain and how he function.
When he said he had lost confidence in the board of directors?
Yeah, like as if he's complaining to them that he's going to submit. They can expect of him to receive from him a full and complete reporting dating back 2002, when this all started along with my resignation letter, since I have clearly lost the confidence of the leadership.
Oh, no, what he's saying there is the leadership has no confidence in him. He lost that. He lost the confidence.
He has lost, he said, the confidence of the leadership. So, Thompson has lost the confidence of the leadership.
The leadership has no confidence. If he had said he has lost confidence in the leadership.
He has lost the confidence of the leadership. Yeah. So this man who has basically found himself, and Gabriel Christian and him, they were trying to get the money, And when you look at some of the emails, and some of which I have not read.
But many emails they try to get the money.
They made so many efforts, so many efforts, and they tried to cover that up for Thompson. And somehow he claimed that he was liquidating the account. He was, and to the point where Gabriel Christian is telling the man that he, has liquidated accounts before. So here is Thompson saying that in the meantime, I told Gabe and Clayton of the problems I was having in liquidating the city. So please bear with me, since I was doing everything to get it done. And, at great cost, I was in contact with the bank almost daily. So Gabriel Christian says, this was rather strange, because he had liquidated cities in Dominica in one day. He responded sending a agreement document for Thompson to sign, because he wasn't buying into Thompson foolishness about and that money he deposited in the credit union in Dominica.
Exactly.
You see? So they were asking him to liquidate the account in Dominica and send the money back to the DAS account. And he pretending like he had such a challenge.
In his name,
It in his Thompson Fountain name.
In Dominica, in the Rosa Credit Union, in Dominica.
In his name. The same credit union where he claimed to have taken the loan.
The loan, obviously.
That he defaulted on.
If you going to get a loan to buy land, and a significant amount of land, Simeon, you're going to need a cash collateral. And so whatever it is to be a member of the credit union, you're going to need that. So that money, the credit union took it. And then still take him to court to pay the land. I do not know if he paid it, I think so, but the land should have been, was up for repossession.
Whatever happened with the land happened, but I mean, the fact is that, however the loan was dealt with, but the fact is that he still tried to justify it, That's the thing, you know. After all what they went through with this man, he still try to justify his actions. And there is no way you can justify such action more than to simply get the money and put it back where it belongs. And he just, from the documents I have seen, he was dilly-dallying, hesitating, saying that he sent a fax to the bank before he went on his mission, you know, and then it's like they didn't receive it, so he tried following up with them. All he had to tell them is he take a loan against the money, you know. He tied the money was tied up. That is why he had difficulty in breaking it, and he partait sa casse. Parce que temps passé en lay, and guess what happened? Time passed on him, and the very commitment, you know, when you put the money as a deposit to take a loan, when the loan go delinquent and things go bad, you can figure that money you had inside there again. That passing, everything is under seizure. So this is why Mr. Man couldn't, and to tell people, to have the gall, you know, to say to the Dominican public that I did not steal anything. Let me play him again, you know.
In terms of, I mean, it was like misappropriation. Matthew, misappropriate funds. If you take the money and you use it, you spend it on yourself. That is misappropriation of funds.
So, Clarence, if you take money and you spend it on yourself, he giving us the definition of misappropriate of funds. If you take the money and you spend it on yourself. So when you take it and you put it in your personal account,
you spend it on, you put it in your personal account.
You take loan against it. You even lose the money because you didn't pay back the loan that you take. I mean, where isn't self coming into play there? I mean, so I don't understand why he would want to even give that explanation about how when you spend your, when all the emails that we have read clearly shows that this money went into Sticky Finger Fountain personal account. Not only did it go into his personal account, but he admitted by his own admission that he had transferred the money into his personal account. So according to him, let me read this one. He said, I immediately transferred the 12,000 into a 3-year CD this year. 3-year CD in my name at my bank. A decision I have come to regret and which in hindsight was a poor choice. But he talked about the 12,000.
Yeah, but he talk about the rest. But he don't talk about refunding it.
He don't talk. He all I ask him to do is to quasi the CD, mash it up, then do whatever. Thompson, just put back the money. You put it there for 3 years, then take it out.
Take it out.
But the 3 years come and gone, and the money can't come out from where he put it because he stick it there. You know, that's why we naming him Sticky Finger, and we will always keep that name for him, because according to the guys, where a member of the board does not comply with the basic rules of proper financial stewardship of the organization, resources, resignation is a must. And that is the reason why they asked Thompson to resign, because they were not comfortable, they were not happy in the manner, and Dominicans have to take note of that. And I hope tonight I help many of our listeners, because I will keep mentioning it time and time again, to remind Dominicans how dangerous Thompson is.
And to me, I don't understand. You have all this thing above you, about you, hanging over you, and you're vying to be the financial, the Minister of Finance as an economist of the country, the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. You have all this thing about you.
And Clarence, he goes around the country trying to tell people about how he can fix this, he can fix that. My boy, the only thing you had to fix was to give the Das back its money. That's the only thing. And you didn't fix it. You destroyed the institution. You never helped a single. You can't tell us who helping Dominica with that money. I mean, at the end of the day, what Thompson did is unacceptable. And as I said, you can, if he had transferred the money once, But he did it 3 times over a period of months, which tells you when a person feel they getting away with something the first time, they feel they can try it again and try it again until they get caught. Caller, good evening to you.
You can remember I had given that name long gone, this sticky finger. You can remember that?
I remember you called him that. Yes, you keep calling him that too.
I had given that name from the time that happened in America. I given that name long gone, this sticky finger. And Mr. Asap and says, sticky finger.
Yeah, well, that name going to stay with him for a very long time. Because every Dominicans that meet him need to call him Sticky Finger, because that's what he is, Sticky Finger. And yeah. I swear he have a, thank you, mommy. I swear he have a lagly on his finger and wherever he pass. But Thompson is a dangerous man, and I say he's dangerous because in his resignation letter, to have emphasized on the fact that he was honest and has integrity, then there's a lot of questions where that is concerned. I think Thompson lacked honesty. One, because he still wasn't honest enough to tell them that he had committed the money with a loan against it. I mean,
in Dominica.
In Dominica. Caller, good evening. Good evening, caller. All right. Caller, not charged from your telephone. He did not have the courtesy to tell them that. Instead, he was misleading them.
So, Simeon, are you saying that the money that was supposed to have been in a city account is now security for a loan?
That is correct. That is what I'm saying. He put it into the credit union. That's why Gabriel Christian told him. In Dominica, he was able to liquidate a CD in 1 day. But that is when you don't have a commitment against the money. So he put the money in there. Thompson claimed, for 3 years he put it in a CD. But he could not liquidate the account even after several attempts were being made to get him to refund it. Because he used the money as security in that same credit union for a loan. A loan that eventually went to the court because the bank had to repossess its money. So Thompson, you know, he has no remorse. Because as far as he's concerned, he is honest. And if that is honesty, what Thompson did, and if that is what integrity is about, then something seriously wrong. Something seriously wrong.
Some people may say $27 which is about
27,000
US, which is about close to 80-something million $1,000. Is a small amount, but if you cannot be trusted in small things.
Clarence, I don't know where you're telling me about 27,000 US a small amount. I don't know if you're a billionaire, but it's the action.
It's the action. Principle. It's the principle and the action, yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it was $1. The fact is that Thompson had no business transferring money on 3 occasions like that to his personal account. I mean, he had no business using the institution money for his personal use in the manner that he did. And he did not even have the audacity to inform the president of the first transfer, or the second one, or the third one. He just took it on his own and did it, and felt that when they came on him about it, that he felt that they had no, like almost like they didn't have a right to question him. That's how he spoke back to them, knowingly that he had done something that he should not have done in the first place. But admittingly, though, that he took it, that he put it into his personal account. But he mentioned the 12,000 to them, but he falls short of telling them of the difference that would amount to the 27,500 that they claim in the free transfers that went into Thompson's account. So these are serious allegations that are pending on Sticky Fingerhead. He has never said to the Dominican people, that, well, look what I did with the money. All he trying to make it look like he did not commit no act of, what do you call it, misappropriation of funds, because he would want us to believe he didn't use it for himself. But the documents that we have presented tonight continue to show that the money went into his personal account And when things go into your personal account, it is for your personal business. And had he done the correct thing, which was to immediately liquidate the money and put it back into the DAS account, all of that thing we read in there today may have gone down the drain, because why? They would not have no reasons emailing each other back and forth, to the point where it has led to nobody at all had any confidence in the DAS after that. Not even after Fontaine submitted his resignation could the DAS resurrect, because the general public and people who found out of Fontaine's action stopped putting their money in that organization. Everybody went their separate ways. Nobody, absolutely nobody, had any choice. So Carissa, I think it is clear that the UWP again put a man at the helm of the party who was a questionable character. And yes, he may have earned a PhD in his lifetime and carry a doctorate. But those kind of actions, and you're talking about where Thompson had a chance to prove himself. To prove himself.
For the young people.
For the people of this country.
Now we come in and talking about young people, these young people. When you had the opportunity with monies to assist our young people, whether it's in training, whether it is skills training.
There's so many things.
So many things you could have done. Have young people in Grand Fort, some young persons attached to certain businesses, something, and pay them a small stipend. So many things you could have done with that money. So many things, nothing at all.
Didn't care about the children in Dominica. The very ones he said that wanted to take guns and things. He didn't care about them.
He's now talking about people not working and things. I mean, come on, man. The same thing you could have done.
Anyway, gentlemen, it is almost time. But I believe that the people of Dominica need to know these things. Running a country is a serious thing. Putting people responsible for the funds of the treasury is a serious thing. And when a man has demonstrated in the way that Sticky Finger Fountain has demonstrated that he would handle money that doesn't belong to him, this is sufficient reasons why he should never be elected into office. There is nothing honorable about what this man did. And this man lacks integrity. He lacks honesty. And he lacks it in so many ways that he will not even admit in a humble way that I was wrong and apologize. But instead, he tried to defend it in his resignation letter by telling them he's living, as far as he's concerned, he's living as if he was, he was so honest. He lived with no regrets at all, knowing that he served with honesty and integrity. That is something to ponder upon. Clarence, your closing remarks as we live.
Yeah, Simeon, let me just say good night, and let me just tell our listeners, those of us, I got a message earlier on from Kelly Ghost. There is no Stardom 10 tomorrow. So it's very likely we will have a program tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, Ghost and I would be on, and we will continue with some of what we spoke about tonight and so on. So good night to the listeners and good night, everyone.
And on Saturday, Carissa, there is Calypso.
Oh boy, the big semi-finals is on Saturday, and of course 20 Calypsonians will be vying to get into the finals, where we will be selecting 9 to meet the Monarch Joy, and the show is going to be at the stadium. We had a walk through today, and I can tell you the place is looking ready. Nice. Calypso.
Nice. The stadium forecourt or in the stadium still?
The stadium, where we normally have the World Creole Music Festival.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, so we're going to be at the stadium, very spacious, and of course we have different sections, Simeon. So for the persons who want to be in the party VIP, that is organized for you, and where you get quite a lot of drinks and foods, and you have access to be very close to the stage. That's $150. We also have elevated seating, Clarence. If you don't want to be in the VIP, where we have the cocktail tables and all the other things, and you just want to sit down and take in the show with a bar in close proximity, you pay $130 for that. We also have general seating.
130.
Yeah.
And what you get? You get a drink with that?
Yeah, we have complimentary drinks.
Oh, okay.
We have some complimentary drinks. We also have the general seating where you can just go and relax, and of course you have a big screen that you will have access to. And for those persons who do not want to sit at all, or they don't want VIP, they can be on the grounds we have an advance price of $50, but of course if you wait until the night, Simeon, that will be $60. So all is set for the grand semi-finals this Saturday. We begin 8:30 sharp, and we have quite a bit in terms of guest performance, Simeon. The Queen will be releasing her big song. Her big song.
On that night?
On that night. She'll be releasing her big song on that night. We also have Booyah Sensations Kwan, who will be doing an impression at the semi-finals as well. And we have a special guy coming all the way from St. Joseph, Simeon. The Mighty Thunder will be making his debut at the semi-finals. Yeah. That's the first time he's ever going to be in the semi-finals. So he's going to make his debut at the semi-finals, along with people like Liberator and Shadow Flow, and I think one or two other Calypsonians who will be performing as guest artists. So let's look forward to Saturday.
Yes.
We're asking our patrons to get their tickets early. Tickets, you can collect your tickets at Deepex. You can collect your tickets at Bullseye or at the Calypso House.
Interesting. Yes, So, we will also be having a program on Saturday. It will be an early edition of the Next Level. I believe we will commence about roughly maybe 6, a little after 6 around there. Carrie will also have other outside broadcasts that they will have, I think, coming in. There's another opening of Carnival. I'm not sure which one of it is Mao or whether they're having something on that day. But I was told that there is some other OB that they have. And so we will see how that works. But I believe between that outside broadcast and the Calypso, we hope to have another live edition of the Next Level, whether it be for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, so we can communicate with our many listeners out there. So you can look forward to that, people. Again, thank you, Carissa, and wish all the Calypsonians good luck. And after that, it's finals.
Yeah, after that is the grand final, and the grand finals will be on Valentine's night.
Ooh,
it will be on Valentine's night. And just to inform our patrons that tickets for the finals, all tickets for finals, will be available from this week, Thursday.
Yes,
Yeah, but Simeon, something I wanted to mention earlier, but let me just mention it. All the equipment for the stadium, the lighting equipment, is there.
Yeah.
And all the panels and everything is there, so all the wiring and things. So all they have to do now is start installing.
All right.
So the stadium will have lights very soon. Hopefully we'll have cricket soon.
All right. Yes, Thank you, gentlemen. We got to go. It's already 6 minutes after the 11 o'clock. Want to thank all the listeners who joined us tonight, all the folks who joined us on the Facebook page, those who are joining us on YouTube as well. Want to thank you all for joining us, and it's always a pleasure having you all. I know you all, of course, on social media defending the Dominica Labour Party. Continue to do what you all are doing. Let's continue to pray for our political leader, Dr. Skerritt family, all of the cabinet ministers and senators, that God will continue to guide and protect them and give them the strength that they desire to do the work that is needed for this land. Let's pray that God will protect us, continue to protect us from any major natural disaster, as we do not need that as this time. We are in a very sensitive stage of our development, so we're asking God for his protection over the land and to bless our families both here and abroad, and to wish everyone a wonderful week. And of course, we will, as we say, hopefully, if God's prayer on Saturday, be there with you all for a couple of hours leading into the Calypso on this Next Level program, as we have always done, where we'll deal with the political information as we always do. So God bless you all, and don't forget, people, the confirmation process continues. So if you have not done that yet, please get yourself on, because the names are already coming out, and I'm looking forward to mine on that list that they are printing. All right, I did with one of our favorite songs there, but I'll give you some of Carissa because of course it's coming very hot for the season there. So good night and God bless you all. I'm trying to queue up my song.
Came back with a rooster from America. As the bully reached, he began to preach. Any cock with crow, he covering them. He tackling dog, he tackling cat, he tackling anything. Even some jackass surrender to him. Now the Venezuelan cock suddenly get caught. He chicken coop mad, look, never in the yard. And they're singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You're striking so hard, no pity for she backyard, Lord. Tell the end from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoot, shoot. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoot, shoot. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. This never in the yard. Oh, Milado. The Bajan hen started to bawl. Oh, she just stand this rooster tall. Because of his bite, he think he right. And taking advantage is his delight. The rooster insists anyone resists, he go be catastrophic. And the penalty, just get rid of him. All them little cock-a-doodoo can't even say shoo. Cause they go regret if they get the rooster upset. Singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You're striking so hard, no pity for she backyard, Lord. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoot, shoot. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoot, shoot. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. In the yard, oh Milado. The Russian cock checking the scene, waiting for a chance to intervene. While the Chinese cock sitting on the fence, spreading the wings, just seeking influence. North Korea cock is a bigger threat, they're tackling us yet. Little do you know, he is the rooster's pet. This hypocrisy for me, I cannot condone. So they should leave the Venezuelan cock alone. And we singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You strike it so hard, no pity for she backyard. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoot, shoot. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoot, shoot. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. This never in the yard, no Milado.
Sing his song. Your lyrics too hot, them fellas wish you would shut up. Leave it for another year. They eye on you like a hawk, even at your work. Check all you can sing, remember you are there. They can take away stripes and you round the country. So just say how you take a trip to Italy. Take a vacation, go and bless your family. If you hit them with hard lyrics, baby, all your acting would cease. You better leave it. for next year. And he quitte ça.